Good evening and welcome. Welcome to another exciting edition of the program here. Liberia First on Ht. Today is April the 8th, Monday, April the 8th, 2024. On the countdown is day number 61. Since Joseph Yuma declared his assets, Joseph Yuma Boyka, that is, declared his assets and never made it public to the Liberian people. And that was since February the 8th, 2024. And on this day, we want to wish my two lovely auntie a happy belated birthday. That's a Rose Mumford and AC Wicks Collins of Detroit and Monrovia, respectively. They both celebrated their birthdays yesterday, April the 7th, 2024, a milestone. Congratulations to you both, Auntie AC and Auntie Afua. And for all of you celebrating your birthdays, anniversaries, and special milestones, we say congratulations to you. This broadcast is dedicated to you as well. We've got a great show coming up for all of us here tonight. And we expect to have a special guest in studio with us. That's Attorney Wonder Freeman via Minnesota tonight. Will be here to help us delve into all of the shenanigans surrounding the noise by the educated idiots about what happened at the Supreme Court today. We're going to break it down for you. What is the ruling? Was there a ruling? What did the Supreme Court say? Associate Justice Yousef Kaba. What's difficult to understand? In the case Gracious Right versus Asset Recovery Team / Liberia, Supreme Court Justice Yousef Kaba declined to rule in the case Gracious Right versus Asset Recovery Team (RL), and told the Asset Recovery Team to proceed in keeping with the law. What did Gracious Right prayed for, and what did the Asset Recovery Team concede to? What are Unity Party zealots and surrogates happy about? Is it a win for Gracious Right or a loss? Let's dig deeper. Invite someone, like the page, follow the page, share the video. That's what I meant. A lot of you come on here, you don't share the video anymore. I go in the chat rooms, I go on your pages. I don't see Jide How Talk videos on your pages in the chat room, but you share everything else in all the other chat rooms. We gotta say it openly now. I will be calling names. People who always, especially posting in the Concerned Liberian Network chat room. I don't see you share Jide How Talk video in the CLN chat room. But you share everything else there. And that's why we get all those scam callers. Because you bring their stuff in there and share with us, and they take our information and be calling us. Also coming up, CDC respond to CSA. The Coalition for Democratic Change has responded sharply and critically to the Civil Service Administration circular on the regularization of 40,000 civil servants, PAN. That's personal action notice. Let's dig deeper. NSA wants Yeke. The National Security Agency has issued a 24-hour notice to Representative Yeke Koluba to turn himself in or face arrest. End of quote. Representative Koluba made a disclosure today in a live news conference. He said he was informed by the Speaker of the House. Senator Michael Lectures, garbage excuses, signed book of condolence, war economic crime code Wahala, and a whole lot more coming up.
Here on this is Liberia First On Ght TV. We're coming to you live from Central Street in Monrovia.
Hello, excuse me.
And
excuse me.
Hello. And we bring you this large stock part of the here on Central Street where
Call it up. No, call it up. Call it up. Call it up.
I'm being attacked.
Wait. Everyone, second. No, I'm
doing my job. I am doing my job. You can't stop me.
I can stop you.
No.
I will stop you. You're not recording this. I will stop you.
So I've been attacked by 2 officers here.
I'm not going to do it, my man.
I've been attacked. You see,
Don't
they're fighting me.
call it off. Don't show it to me.
They're fighting me and they want to spoil my phone.
No matter what, call it
He wants
off.
to spoil my phone.
Call it off.
He wants to spoil my phone. There's a show in Liberia. There's a show in Liberia. There's a Preach TV online. And they are fighting me. They are fighting me. They are fighting me. I said that's you. Stop it. They are fighting me. They want to spoil my phone. So show in Liberia. They're fighting me on Center Street. 2 officers. I don't know what he's talking about. They didn't attack himself. And he attacked me. 2 of them. I listen to you. He attacked me. Let's do.
Excuse me.
Hello.
We call it off west.
And we bring you this large stockpile of dirt here on Center Street, where
Call it off. No, call it off.
He's there.
Don't you call it off. Call it off.
I'm being attacked. I'm being attacked. Wait. People. No, I'm doing my job. I am doing my job. You can't stop me.
I can stop you.
No.
I will stop you. You're not recording this. I will stop you.
So I've been attacked by 2 officers here.
I'm not going to do it, my man.
I've been attacked. You see,
Don't
they're fighting me.
call it off. Don't show it to me.
They're fighting me and they want to spoil my phone.
No matter what, call
He
it
wants
off.
to spoil my phone.
Call it off.
He wants to spoil my phone. There's a show in Liberia. There's a show in Liberia. There's a Preach TV online. And they are fighting me. They are fighting me. They are fighting me. I said that's you.
Stop it.
They are fighting me. They want to spoil my phone. So show in Liberia. They're fighting me on Center Street. 2 officers. I don't know what he's talking about. I don't know. They didn't attack himself. And he attacked me. 2 of them. I listen to you. He attacked me. I'm here on Center Street. I couldn't do my work. This is show in Liberia. This is what is happening here. This is what is happening here. They're fighting me. They are fighting me. They are fighting me. He did not ask me any question. He did not ask me any question.
Arrest me. Eh? Not because you say can't arrest me. I'm coming to your house. When you see me, you can't arrest me. Don't know what we own. You can't arrest me. You better start going under the speaker. I told the speaker, we're not coming for that no more. And I told him to call you to tell us that I'm not coming nowhere. And I state my statement. Every statement I made yesterday in my press conference, I state my it. If it was a threat, I state my the threat I made yesterday. If it was a threat. So I'm not going to be voicing. You can arrest me, yeah? Oh, you want fire, you can't complain. And you what? You can't get dragging the police all around, dragging I can't do that, I can't do that. Oh, you want fire, you scared? Eh? When you see the later fire here, more, if you know how you turn. So after you know how you turn, you want to send a paper and boss it? Try it. Oh, you think scared, eh? Now for the speaker business, I can listen to Honorable Kaba, I want to see you. I said, okay, Honorable Speaker, I come in. You can't, the speaker can't waste the time to can't give me a message that you will not get no result. All and then say they want to talk to you, want to say, and I told him to call your NSA people. I'm not coming nowhere. I'm not meeting when you nowhere. You will not get no result. All and then say they want to talk to you, want to say, and I told him to call your NSA people. I'm not coming nowhere. I'm not meeting when you nowhere. I'm not coming nowhere. I'm not meeting when you nowhere. I'm not coming nowhere. I'm not meeting when you nowhere. Nowhere. I'm not meeting when you nowhere. I'm not coming nowhere. I'm not meeting when you nowhere. No result. All and then say they want to talk to you, want to say, and I told him to call your NSA people. I'm not coming nowhere. I'm not meeting when you nowhere. You come and arrest me. You better do it. Oh, you do back on. And you say you know the Constitution. Tell the NSA boy you want Constitution to come arrest me. Your teacher, tell the NSA boy you want Constitution to come arrest me. You're sleeping in the state of basement. Tell the NSA boy you want Constitution to come arrest me. You're you give back on. And you say you know the Constitution. Tell the NSA boy you want Constitution to come arrest me. You're sleeping in the state of basement. Pass around. All of you started flying with the people late daughter picture. All on Facebook. Now the job I gotta do, I'll put my own picture in the whole conversation. And I'll put my own picture in the whole conversation. I gotta do, I'll put my own picture in the whole conversation. I gotta do, I'll put my own picture in the whole conversation. I gotta do, I'll put my own picture in the whole conversation. Now the job I gotta do, I'll put my own picture in the whole conversation. And I told you I will address the president. Told me what joking. You don't be careful of me with the one I will say again in part 2. Now one day I think you'll bring the whole AFL to kind of rest. Because I won't be nasty again in part 2. Now one day I think you'll bring the whole AFL to kind of rest. In part 2. Now one day I think you'll bring the whole AFL to kind of rest. Again in part 2. Now one day I think you'll bring the whole AFL to kind of rest. Because I won't be nasty. Then they won't. It'll be very, very nasty. What they want. I'm a Casal snake. When you step on my tail, you will feel me. Casal snake. When you step on my tail, you will feel me. Very, very nasty. What they want. I'm a Casal snake. When you step on my tail, you will feel me. The war is going to be cranked somewhat. Thank you. No question. Yeah? Not because I say can't arrest me. I come in the house. When you see me, you can't arrest me. Don't do what we own. You can't arrest me. You better start going under the speaker. I told the speaker, not coming for that thing no more. And I told him to call you to tell us that I'm coming nowhere. And I stand on my statement. Every statement I made yesterday in my press conference, I stand by it. If it was a threat, I stand by the threat I made yesterday. If it was a threat. Nowhere. And I stand on my statement. Every statement I made yesterday in my press conference, I stand by it. If it was a threat, I stand by the threat I made yesterday. If it was a threat. So I'm not going to revise you. You can arrest me, yeah? But you know you want for you have a company. And you get tracking the police for all around, tracking your account to hotel, account to the all you want for is here. Yeah?
Papa Kama Soka, all the sun, Walla Walla, somebody says Konda.
Who owns Lala?
It's a Papa Kama Soka, all the sun, Walla Walla. Somebody says
Gonda, who owns Lala.
Well, you see,
My friends out talking Gonda. They brought their palava, so I will fix it for them.
but what I don't understand,
Why should they make palava for this rascal woman who is called Kaba?
Is it Papa Kama Soka, all the sun, Walla Walla. Somebody
And
says
says Gonda, who owns Lala.
Is it Papa Kama Soka, all the sun, Walla Walla.
Somebody says Gonda, who owns Lala.
I whisper and tell me low.
It's a Gonda wife who does also so. So I say, oh, never know.
We go found out who is who.
We will send for each and everyone concerned and tell them everyone will be here.
You will see the cheat of stay away.
The true husband will appear.
We will see, we will see. We will know who is he. That's just what I'm gonna do. We will find out the truth. I sent for Kama, I sent for Ghana, I sent for Walla Walla, I sent for Kama Soko.
We will know who is who.
Who is that?
That's me, oh my Gonda. I have come from the farm.
Ever since I've been knocking the door.
Who is that?
That's me, oh my Gonda. And I've come from the farm. Ever since
I've
I've
been
been
knocking the door.
Hey, God, man, I love you, but you too rascal. This time if I catch you, I
I
swear
swear
I'll
I'll
finish
finish
with
with you.
the first time I caught you. Your boyfriend used to call you Lala.
Again now I caught you.
Now it's a bag of cassava.
Who is that?
That's me, oh man, gonna. And I've come from the farm. Ever since I've been knocking the
The
door.
door.
Who is that?
That's me,
Oh
oh
my
man,
Gonda.
gonna. I've come from the farm. Ever since I've been knocking the door.
Oh, Ghana.
I come in my own Gonda.
Hold your hand, let me tell my lover. I'm coming to open the door. Hold your hand, let me tell my lover.
I come in open the door.
I said,
So Bakama, what is down there? Down there behind the door.
I said, but what is down there?
Down there behind the door.
That looks like a bag of cassava.
Me, I want to know.
The first time I caught you, your boyfriend used to call you Lala.
Again now I caught you. Now it's a bag of cassava. Who is that?
That's me,
Oh my Gonda. I have come from the farm.
Ever since I've
I've been knocking the door.
Who is that?
That's me, oh my Gonda. I have come from the farm.
Ever since I've been knocking the door. Hey,
Girl, may I love you, but you too rascal.
sweet girl, may I love you, but you too rascal.
Hey, God, man. Hey, God, man.
Sweet girl, may I love you, but you too rascal.
Hey, God, man.
I said, but come in, but what is down there?
Down there behind the door.
I said, but come in, but what is down there?
Down there behind the door.
That
It looks like a bag of cassava. Me, I want to know.
The first time I caught you,
The boyfriend used to call you Lala.
Again I have got you. Now
Where's
where's the
the
bag
bag
of
of
cassava?
cassava?
Who is that? That's me, old
Oh,
man Gunda.
Megunda,
I
I
have
have
come
come
from
from
the
the
farm
farm.
ever since I've been knocking the door.
If you just joined us here, we say welcome,
That's
welcome.
me, old man Gunda. I have
Have
come
come
from
from
the
the
farm
farm.
ever since I've been knocking the door. Hey, come here, I love you, but
But
you
you
too
too
rascal.
rascal.
Sweet
Sweet
girl, me,
me,
I
I
love
love
you,
you,
but
but
you
you
too
too
rascal.
rascal.
Oh,
Hey,
God, man.
me, sweet me,
Sweet
sweet
girl, me,
me,
I
I
love
love
you,
you,
but
but
you
you
too
too
rascal.
rascal.
Oh,
Hey,
God, man.
me,
Hey, God, man.
me, sweet
God,
me,
man,
I
I love
love
you,
you,
but
but you too rascal. Oh,
Papa.
me, hey, me, me, we love you, but you too rascal. Now you don't know. We'll send for everybody. We'll find out who is who. Come for mommy tell you say I left trouble, eh? Good evening, folks. Uh, uh, we have our guest, attorney Wonder Freeman will be joining us momentarily. Yeah. All right. Welcome to all of you. I hope you had a wonderful, wonderful weekend, and with you and yours, and all is well. All right. Welcome to you. Tonight broadcast is dedicated to my two lovely aunts. They born a year apart, but they born on the same day. Kwame with two older sisters. Yeah, he next to one of them. AC Wicks Collins and Afua Wicks Mountford. Happy belated birthday to you there in Monrovia and here in Detroit. And for all of you celebrating your birthdays, anniversaries, and special milestones, we say congratulations to you. This broadcast is dedicated to you as well. Okay, let's speak to our team of panelists and analysts here. And then as we make our way to our guest, Mr. Freeman, Wonder Freeman. Miss Wenley, how you doing? Welcome there.
Hello, good evening from my end, good morning from my end to all
No
of
doubt.
you.
Good
Apostle
evening, good morning to
CEO,
you.
Delano Tamasa, the great Gilmer, digging deeper champion.
We will know, we will know.
I know exactly what that song going, where it going.
Eh?
So I say I know exactly what that song
What
going
is
while
song
that
going?
song was playing. I know.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
How was your weekend?
yeah. Bless God, oh,
Let's go.
thank God,
Yeah.
thank you.
I had a family in Morovia, in
You're
Liberia.
having a wake keeping tonight.
Okay.
Yeah, but
Okay.
everything is fine.
Good.
Can't
Okay.
complain.
Stay strong. Stay strong. Let me
God,
quickly talk to
God
our
is
two
there.
other here before we bring our guest. He's already backstage with us. Apostle Seal, welcome. How you doing?
Yeah, Mr. Gilmore, Rosalind Delano, the chief himself.
Yeah.
Good evening to you there. And
Good evening,
I'm
Apostle.
happy also to see Rosalind, to thank God for strength that God has
Right.
given you. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Mr. Gilmore, I'm looking forward to a beautiful show as usual.
Right.
And good, we have our guest tonight and also a beautiful deliberation.
Right.
So, a lot of things to talk about, but we are happy that we are here tonight. Thank you for the privilege you give us to be
No
on the
doubt.
show.
No doubt. Uh Emmanuel JJ is saying, since Rosalind, what happened? Rosalind lost her first cousin in Liberia the other day.
Yeah.
And you heard her say they're preparing for the funeral. So that's what it is. Emmanuel JJ.
Hey,
Delano
Eden.
Tamasa, senior analyst. Welcome. How you doing?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Gilman.
Yep.
Thank you for having me. Let me just say quickly, my deeper condolences to Sis Rosalie. I just hearing that. Can you
Oh,
imagine?
okay, you were on the show. You came after we
Oh
we
man, I'm
announced
so
it, and
sorry, Sarah.
yeah,
Thank you, Delano.
Yeah, yeah, but yeah, man, be strong, my dear sister.
absolutely. Yeah.
But it's great to be on the show, the wise man, teaming up
We
with
have a
the
guest tonight, Attorney Freeman, Wanda Freeman. He's coming
oh,
on tonight to
that,
sift through.
that's wonderful. That's
Yeah,
wonderful. There are a lot of things at stake. I think at this moment, if we have a legal minded person on the show, will really be a great advantage, so that we understand some things clearly. But it's
absolutely.
always a great time to be with you, teaming up with the great Apostle Dabasil. To many of people that are following, we just want to say hello to all of you. Thank you for always tuning in. But quickly, Mr. Gilmer, wait now, why the government want our Lapa to open the door for Hosmo? Why you want to have? It's highly suspicious, right? You got to tell the Lapa before you open the
We'll
door.
send for all two. We'll find out the truth. We'll send for Game, we'll send for Gonda, we'll send for Balawala.
I didn't want a stranger coming here, but I the Hosmo, I say open the door, he said no.
Yeah.
You want that Lapa for what going on?
What's
But it's
going
great to be
on?
on the show. It's great to be on the show, the wise man.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's great to have you as
Yeah.
well. Yeah. All right, let's seize the moment here and welcome our guest, Mr. Freeman is joining us, I believe from Minnesota. Mr. Freeman, good evening to you. Welcome. How you doing?
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm happy to be on the show.
No doubt. It's great to have you as well. First time on here on the global stage with us. It's great. It's
Yeah,
great.
that's nice.
Yeah, it's great to have you. We got quite a bit to talk about here, but we will
Okay.
we will be delving deeply with you, like we said, digging deeper into the gracious right versus the asset recovery team. Today, the Supreme Court Justice Yousef Kaba declined to rule in the case Gracious Right versus Asset Recovery Team, RL, and told the Asset Recovery Team to proceed in keeping with the law. What the Gracious Right prayed for, and what did the Asset Recovery Team concede to? Why are Unity Party zealots and surrogates happy about? Is it a win for Gracious Right or a loss? Let's dig deeper. Mr. Freeman, you like to tell us that's what we'll be discussing with you. We got other topics, but we want to delve into this with you. And then if you want to stay for the rest of the other topics, that include Yeke Koluba,
No, I probably
NSC
will
one.
watch the rest of the other topic.
You watch the rest of the other topic. Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So talk to us. Who is Attorney Wanda Freeman? Let's get a little bit of background of you.
Well, just a gist. I'm Wanda Freeman, and originally, of course, from Monrovia, Liberia, but currently residing in Minneapolis.
Right.
I'm a lawyer, and I'm also an accountant and economist, and I'm a certified financial crime specialist. I'm passionate about Liberia, and so kind of open whenever people want to, hear my thoughts on what's going on in Liberia.
Right. Great. But then we made no mistake to have you on here tonight, thanks to Mr. Gayman, Jerome Gayman. They will be joining us. Jerome Gayman, AB Kone will be joining us.
On the
Rashad
political component, right?
Yeah. So, did you follow this case, Gracious Right versus Asset Recovery Team, RL? Did you follow that?
Yeah. I follow it. From the origin and then coming up with this ruling and stuff like that. Yeah.
Right. So, let's get your perspective on the whole onset of the seizure, the prohibition filed by Gracious Right, and the request by the Supreme Court, and now that paper out of the court today.
Firstly, I am not very positive about the whole asset recovery thing.
Mm-hmm.
From several reasons. Firstly, I feel like there are institutions that are doing that job and their functions are being usurped. Secondly, I think the whole thing is political and it kind of amount to a witch hunt from the way they are proceeding. You know, so I follow the petition, you know, for prohibition on the commission. I mean, I don't know if they're commission or committee, whatever, you know, and yeah, they came out with the ruling, but this ruling is not a victory for anybody per se. It's a victory for the rule of law. So I really don't know if any one of the parties can celebrate because it's actually a victory for the rule of law.
Victory for the rule of law.
Yeah, that's how I see it.
Yeah. Okay. What is the law that is victorious today? Why do you say that?
Okay. Firstly, I like to differentiate between asset retrieval and asset recovery because they always mix it up, and the two are not the same. When the government gives you an asset to work with, and that asset belongs to the government and is owned by the government, when the government comes after you to get it, that's retrieval.
That's retrieval. Yeah.
Yeah, retrieval. So they won't need any special court proceedings or anything like, unless there is a resistance, they probably won't need any court order or anything like that. They can just go to you and say, whatever we assign to you, we want it back. And it doesn't even need a new committee. I mean, the GSA issues these things out and the GSA can easily go and retrieve them. Asset recovery is a legal process. Legal.
Yeah.
Whether it coming after the end of a criminal conviction, or it is coming by way of what we call a non-conviction based recovery. Any way you take it, it has to be by way of a court order. So the idea that people will go on the road and looking around for asset, you know, it's just laughable, you know.
Is that recovery or what?
It looks to me like retrieval, but they're calling it recovery because I assume that, you know, the whole idea there of the recovery is that maybe out of corruption, money laundering, you know, bribery and all these kinds of things, somebody acquire assets that technically they stole and they conceal the ownership. So the ownership is in their name or in other parties' name that maybe they are related to. So the title, the ownership of that property is not in the name of the government. Then you recover. But if the asset is still in the name of the government, then that's not recovery, that retrieval. So when you call retrieval and you go on the road and stay on the road and looking for a car, you know, it's like you're confusing things. But like I keep saying, like a law is like medicine, it's like other areas, and not every lawyer knows everything.
Absolutely.
Okay. Like me, I'm a financial crimes lawyer. So if you call me for land cases or you call me maybe on murder cases, I might tell you, oh, I'm not prepared for that. You know, I'm doing something else. So the idea that a lawyer, because he's a lawyer, he can do any case is a problem because from the way they are proceeding, it's clear that they have no idea what financial crime is.
Okay, Attorney Freeman, please allow me. Let me welcome one of our senior analysts, Abraham V. Conner, and then we're going to be asking you about the initial document filed by by Gracious Right, the prohibition, writ of prohibition, filed by Gracious Right. We're going to read it for everybody, and then we'll go step by step. AB, welcome. How you doing?
Good evening, my brother, and good evening to the panelists and analysts, and of course, good evening to my dear comrade, the one you know, the one you know, the one you know.
Oh, okay.
The great one of Freeman.
Oh, my man, AB, what's up? I haven't seen you in a long time.
The one you know, the one you know, the one you know. Okay. You know, real quick, the reason I call that name, one of Freeman at the University of Liberia, he was contesting, but that was his campaign team.
Yeah.
Everywhere he went, he just tell everybody say the one you know. Meaning to say,
you know.
only one of Freeman that you know, he's the one contesting. But it's good to see you, man. Lord, listen, I know the fact that I didn't even know it was you that Jerome gave me was calling. I just told myself, but I mean, it's my comrade. But
Yeah.
trust me, you're in safe hands, and I know you're gonna thread this needle carefully.
Yeah,
Unfortunately,
sure.
unfortunately, this is the month of Ramadan for me. I'm just on my way to the mosque, but in between, after prayer, if you guys still are, I will join you.
Okay,
You know
okay.
what I'm
That's
All
good.
saying? Indeed, our people need to be educated on the legality of the whole process. And what I got it from the whole thing, the synopsis there is that you stated rightly that indeed is the rule of law that won the case today. So that's the most important thing that we are all concerned
right,
about. But it's
right.
great to see you, my man. But we will talk.
Yeah,
Listen,
yeah, yeah,
we'll get
yeah.
in contact.
Yeah,
We'll talk.
yeah.
All right,
Yeah,
Wana?
for sure. We'll talk again.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, AB.
Okay.
All right, so Wonder, this is the the March 28th document from the court, the
Mm-hmm.
clerk of the Supreme Court, dated. It's Office of the Clerk, Supreme Court of Liberia, Temple of Justice, Monrovia, Liberia, March 28, 2024. Councillor N. Owotwe, Minister, Ministry of Justice, 14th Street, Sinker, Monrovia, Liberia. Dear Councillor, in reference, gracious right by and through its manager, Francis T. Blamo of the City of Monrovia petitioner versus the Asset Recovery Task Force, headed by Councillor Edwin Martin, also of the City of Monrovia, respondent, petition for a writ of prohibition by directive of His Honor Yousef D. Kaba, Associate Justice presiding in chambers. You are hereby cited to a conference with His Honor on Monday, April 1st, 2024, at the hour of 11 a.m. in connection with the above captioned case. Meanwhile, you are ordered to release of all vehicles seized and stay all seizure pending the outcome of the conference. Kind regards, Councillor Sam Mamulu, Clerk, Supreme Court, with the seal. So, talk to us here, Attorney Wanda Freeman, an accountant, and all of that. What do you make of this letter or communication to the Justice Minister?
Well, this letter is to the Justice Minister, the one you wrote?
The one I just read
Okay.
is to the Justice Minister because the Justice Minister is the Attorney General, and the Asset
Yeah.
Recovery will need Justice Ministry uh, uh, to do whatever they have to do legally. So the letter says, if the letter is addressed to the Justice Minister and telling the Justice Minister to tell Asset Recovery to put a seizure or hold or stay on. Meanwhile, you are ordered to release of all vehicles seized and stay all seizures pending the outcome of the conference.
I think that was the initial part of the case, right?
That's why I said let's go back to the beginning. That's the beginning
Okay.
of the case.
Well, that is normal. Like court proceedings. It happens when somebody believes that if somebody maybe somebody is carrying on an action that they don't have the full legal authority to do,
Right.
or they have the legal authority but they are proceeding in the wrong manner, then you file a prohibition, and normally the court will issue a temporary stay order. So that is really not like a ruling in your favor or anything like that. But
Right.
you are telling the court that, look, if you don't stop these people now, they are going to cause significant damage, and I may not recover from the damage that they will cause. So you have to stop them now.
Correct.
But it's not like it's a win for you or anything like that. It's just to stop them and call them to the court to say, let's have a conversation.
Okay. Folks, panelists and analysts, if you have a question anytime, just let us know. You can try it in. We'll take it. All right. So we are made to understand from your earlier statement here that this document clearly says that hey, asset recovery, you have rights to go about doing your recovery, everything, but in this case, you have to put a stop. Let's go into it. Is that what we are getting from you?
Yeah. That's essentially it. A lot of party litigants, they go to court,
Yeah.
and they will want some kind of stay order while the matter is being pursued. So it's
Okay.
pretty standard in legal
Standard.
practice. Yeah.
Okay. Great. The next thing here is the asset recovery team submitted a a document to the Supreme Court. Let's put it up for all of us, which was also the basis for the decision of the court today.
Yeah.
Let's put it up so that you help us understand it. This is it, and I will read it for all of us so that we all take get an understanding of it. If you want me to read it in parts, fine. You guys.
No, I got it. But you can read it for your audience.
Okay. All right. Great. So this is on the asset recovery letterhead. Assets recovery and property retrieval core task force. Fortis Law Compound, Jarlathtown, Monrovia, Monserrado County, April 8th, 2024. His Honor Yousef D. Kaba, Associate Justice presiding in Chambers, Temple of Justice, Monrovia, Liberia. In reference, gracious right by and through its manager, Francis T. Blamo, petitioner, versus the Asset Recovery Task Force, headed by Councillor Edwin Martin, also of the city of Monrovia, Liberia.
You're going to read all that thing one by one? I thought you're just going to read it. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, so we got people who can read, or they can read, they can't comprehend. Yeah. Petition for a writ of prohibition. May it please you, Your Honor. May it please Your Honor. On the 28th day of March 2024, the petitioner in a captioned case, in a captioned cause of action, filed a petition for prohibition before Your Honor and this honorable court against the respondent herein on grounds that legality was not obtained to make inquiry of petitioner's title documents and to have proceeded to pack petitions vehicles for verification. I mean, how is that? Petitions, not petitioners? Well, anyway, that book people book Jimmy them.
Yeah, when you get through, I will just
Okay.
speak on the overall.
Yeah. Respondent submits and says that its action was not deliberate to disenfranchise the petitioner, but same was done to investigate the allegation of suspicion surrounding the acquisition of petitioner's vehicles. Respondent maintains that the investigation of suspicious asset falls within the mandates of Executive Order number 126, which was announced by His Excellency Joseph Yuma Boakai. However, respondent submits and yields to the petition in part and says that the authority of the courts and appropriate laws will be applied in consonance with due process and the rule of law. Meanwhile, respondent informs Your Honor and this honorable court that it reserves its right under the law to proceed with legal investigation. Explain to us what's the understanding of this document.
Well, it feels like to me that the asset recovery team is conceding to the position, at least they call it in part.
Yes, they say
Yeah,
in
they
part.
call it in part, but
Yeah.
it looks to me like they are conceding that they started proceeding contrary to law.
Contrary to law. Yeah.
Yeah, and now they have a guarantee in the court that they will proceed according to law. And about law, what I mean is, especially when we talk about due process, there should be notice. That's the fundamental step in the due process, notice. There should be an opportunity for the other party to be heard. And there should be a formal forum to be able, for the person to be able to defend themselves and stuff like that. So if you just go on the road without a court warrant and start to seize, I mean, that would be proceeding contrary to law. And that's part of the reason why prohibition sometimes may lie. And the prohibition is not like a strictly legal thing. It lies within the discretion of the judge. Because it's what we call an equitable remedy. So by equitable remedy, I mean, what is not, it lies within the judgment of the judge to grant it or not to grant it, but it doesn't go to the heart of the case, like who owns a car. It doesn't solve that problem. The problem is trying to solve it. Should the asset recovery team be having a car while we discuss the case? Should they give it back to the owner while we discuss this case? That is what they are discussing now. Who owns the car?
Now who owns the car?
You know, no, we're not discussing that. Only who should be in possession of this vehicle while this investigation is going on. So it's an equitable remedy. So it's really within the discretion of the judge. And if the judge exercises discretion and he doesn't abuse the discretion, the court will normally hold that that discretion is correct.
Yeah.
So my reading from this thing is that the asset recovery team has kind of admitted.
Yeah.
That
they said in the last paragraph.
The second to the last, they said one, the yield impact to the petition. That is, that's we call that confessing judgment. Yeah, we call that confessing judgment. So you kind of say, okay, what you guys saying we agree to it, even though they call it impact. And then secondly, promising that okay, we guarantee the court that we will proceed
in accordance with the law.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Yield in part. However, respondent submits and yields to the petition in part and says the authority of their courts and appropriate laws will be applied. So what will be applied? What does it tell us? That they did not apply the law in the first, from the get-go?
That's why I see from the action that they took, because look, the first thing in my mind, and that's why I say not every lawyer is probably schooled in financial crimes. Financial crime is
common sense.
It is more of an investigative thing. It's not something you just go on a road and start looking for. You investigate, you establish that something is missing. You trace how it got missing, where it got
missing. Yeah.
Yes, you establish maybe the channels through which it was done. Then, if there is a need, you get a court order to get more documents. So, and then on the basis of that, you can, because for example, if you got enough evidence, you don't even have to pursue the person. You can write the person and just give them a piece of what you have and say, look, we know you got this, we have this document. So turn it in. Some people will turn it in willingly. So there's no need for the noise. The only time court will come in is when the person resists, but the way I see them starting, like they go stand on the road there looking for government car.
And just
it's pathetic. I wonder what kind of lawyer is that, it's very disappointing. I believe they would have done comprehensive investigation. And then they will have published and asked those who have it, given that they have all the evidence, they will just publish and say, look, we know so and so person got this. We ask you, we give you tell you this. That's part of the notice.
Yeah.
Notice is the first step in due process. You gotta give people notice, you know.
Uh-huh.
So you don't just jump on the street and you see somebody coming from church, you get grabbed and take their family from out of the car. You know, I mean, it's just pathetic. But you know, this is Liberia. People, you know, when you already hire somebody who has an axe to grind with the former administration,
Yeah.
then you set him on a vindictive course. And so on that basis, his objectivity is impaired.
So what is lacking here for our people? If you read this without reading the next paper we're going to go to from the Supreme Court, if you read this petition or this
is a response. It's
this response. If you
Yeah.
read this, if you read this response from the respondent, in a layman term, how would you characterize it?
Well, the best I can say is that it's a part, what should I say? A part confession of judgment. That's how we call it. Part confession of judgment. So, like, if somebody takes you to court on charge number 1, 2, and 3,
Yeah.
and then you say, okay, number 1 and 2, I agree. I did that. Okay, number 3, I disagree. Then the court will say, okay, fine, since we agree on 1 and 2, there's no issue here. So we enter judgment for 1 and 2, and we'll go and argue over 3.
Just like Stanton Witherspoon.
Fine.
Stanton Witherspoon case.
Yeah.
There were several counts, and then he said, okay, I will plead guilty to count. I think it was count number 2 or number 1.
Yeah.
Wire fraud, all those kinds of stuff.
Yeah. So that's why it is. But so eventually, I mean, that's why they did, and I guess that kind of helped, you know, to kind of get the judge to be able to know, you know, what his next step will be.
Wow.
But I expected, look, people stop mixing this asset retrieval with asset recovery. Under Article 20 of the Liberian Constitution, you cannot take $1 from an individual or a pin or let's call it a grumpy paw that somebody has. You can't take it without a due process of law. And for you to have due process of law, you got to have notice. You got to have a proper forum. And you got to give the person an opportunity to be heard, and 2, an opportunity to confront the allegations. So, and that precedent has been set since 1936 in a celebrated case we call Wallow versus Wallow. Since 1936, it was a divorce case, but it ended up being what we call a landmark case for the due process of law, that you cannot take away unless you have provided a forum for the person to adjudicate their rights. So all this asset recovery thing going around trying to take away property, you can't do one, not a pin you can take from anybody if you have not given them adequate notice or giving them an opportunity to be heard and to defend themselves and to confront the allegation against them.
So, who wins here? Let's save that for the last part. Let's see who wins or who lost here.
Yeah, Mr. Gimon.
Yeah.
Can I just ask a simple quick question?
Go ahead.
Welcome, Honorable Freeman, Anthony Freeman.
Yeah, just call me Wonder, man. Go ahead.
Okay, I just want to salute you. You're Anthony there. So you were saying this. You were saying something. You talk about if you took a lot of bunch of vindictive folks who have grudge against certain individuals, and then you put them on a panel, and then you call them asset recovery team. This is what you get. So, and I agree with you. And my question is, I just want you to throw light on that. The legitimacy of this so-called asset recovery team, the legitimacy, according to what we just we have seen in the news for the past days, this government has appointed or want to appoint a national ombudsman, and is that ombudsman, does he has the power to disqualify this so-called asset recovery team, and to say, listen, this asset recovery team is not legitimate, and there's no professional technocrats. These are a bunch of politicians and vindictive people, and they will not do the job, and, on a neutral basis. So, to appeal to the government to reform, a professional asset recovery team. Can the ombudsman maybe go in the kind of direction?
Well, I don't know. It's possible he could offer advice, but mind you, this whole thing looks political to me. So if you start something political, I think they have political objective that they are pursuing, because it doesn't look legal. Because if you do legal, look, if you decide to pursue the legal route, there is a lot of investigation before you even make your first move.
Right.
Yeah. So to just appoint a 25-man committee, put them in the office of the presidency, even putting them in the office of the president, you turn a legal process political. You're not supposed to put a law enforcement institution in the office of the presidency. What is he supposed to do? Take dictation from you? So the whole thing is political. So it's possible that he might offer advice, they could take it, but I see like they have a political mission. Because firstly, from the objectivity standpoint, because I'm a forensic accountant, I'm a legal practitioner. From an objectivity perspective, Martin is not qualified. Because you are not only supposed to be neutral, but you are supposed to be perceived to be neutral.
Yeah.
So there is a perception element. So if you are neutral in fact, but you are perceived not to be neutral, you are not qualified. So just from that perspective, Martin is not qualified, because we know the run-in he had with the previous, government. And that's why I think he's not even proceeding logically, because for a counsel of law to be proceeding the way he's proceeding, it tells me that he's inundated with vindictiveness. He's trying to get back at people who took away his job. And we know that he went to Supreme Court to keep the job, and he was still denied and all of that. So, and then to compound it, you take a lot of political people, social media people. I mean, this is a legal process. Asset recovery is a highly technical field that involves forensic accountants and seasoned lawyers. So to take a social media activist and put 25 of them together and say, go pursue my enemies, I mean, it's just disappointing, and it's very sad, because Bwaka was pitched as an elder statesman, and he was going to bring the country together. And he's now put a committee together that is full of a lot of political people. To compound it, he put it in his office. So apparently he doesn't even trust them to do what they're supposed to do. So they are in his office. So if they make one step out of line, he called them and say, hey, come, that's what I told you to do. You follow my instruction. So I just think that whole asset recovery is an absolute waste of resources. If Bwaka want to do well for the country, he would dissolve it today.
Wow. If Bwaka wants to do well, he will dissolve the
that
recovery
institution today.
And then do what? Recommission them?
There's no need, because, for example, retriever, you got a GSA that gave out the asset.
They should give
so
you.
If I give you a computer, if I give you a computer to use, and you finish working for me, I just go by to you and ask you for the computer I gave you.
Yeah.
If I give you a car to use and you finish working for me, I go by to you and ask for the car. So there is no need for us to record, we don't know how to call them, retrieval team, whatever it is, there's not needed. And let's assume it was by way of corruption. Then you got the Ministry of Justice, you got the LACC, you got the FIU, you got the GAC. So you got about 4 different institutions that are what we call, under international law, we call them competent authority.
Yeah.
So the asset recovery team is not a competent authority. They can't get out of the Republic of Liberia. Anybody show them courtesy or respect.
Wow.
Okay. For example, that asset recovery team cannot go and link up with the FBI. No. Most likely it will be the National Police or the Ministry of Justice. The same way with the asset recovery thing, you can go to Switzerland and go start checking in the banks. They might deal with the police, they might deal with the Justice Ministry or the LSCC or maybe the GAC. They will not deal with asset recovery thing. So why is that bother? It's just a total waste of resources.
Yeah, Miss Welly, Rosalind.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Gilman. Thanks for the acknowledgement. And thank you, Councillor Wanda Freeman, for accepting our call from our CEO, Michael Gilman. So, under the topic under discussion, I would like to know that you have mentioned that if it were you, that Joseph Boakai dissolve the task force today. So it sounds very good, but my question to you, if that were to happen, what would become of the task force? I'm just curious, because this thing had touched the nerves of almost all well-meaning.
But you're not asking me a legal question. I'm here to answer a legal thing, I mean, come on, what will become of the task force? That's for the politicians to decide.
You dissolve, Rosalind.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, the question is good, but it's a political question. And you brought me on the show to talk to legal issue, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. The reason I say dissolve, because
no, it's a
most asset recovery.
I'm not against that. I'm right now rejoicing in my inner self that the fact that if Boakai means well for the nation, which is what we all want, if he means well today, he would dissolve the task force, because realistically, this is pure witch hunt. We all know.
And that's how I see it. It's a witch hunt. Yeah.
This is all witch hunt that we've all observed. Like, as if to say he came purposely not to govern, but to chase after the Weah-led government officials, including the Weah himself. So that's what I'm going to ask the question, and I just wanted to satisfy my.
Okay, I got you. Okay, but now you say what will become of the task force?
Yeah.
Now, what will become of the task force is a political question.
Okay. I apologize on that.
And no, nothing wrong. But I mean, I just gotta keep to my area of expertise, which is legal, and not answer political question. So what will become of the task force is left with Boakai and his people, what to do with them, because he's a president, so he could reappoint them, But I mean, tell me, there's no logic. One, you got LACC, you got GAC, you got MOJ, you got FIU, you got LMP. All of them are empowered to do, this work in one form or another. Then you set up a body that is not properly constituted, and now you unleash them to go and chase after, quote unquote, your political enemies. That's how I see it.
Right.
So, and asset recovery, a good portion of it, you have to go abroad, because most people who steal money from a country, they will not keep the money in the country. They will send that money abroad. So, can that asset recovery thing go abroad and engage with other competent authority? I don't see the likelihood of any competent authority dealing with asset recovery team. What is that? I mean, no, the people know police, they know Justice Ministry, they know LSCC. I don't see them working with sharing information with asset recovery team. So what is the essence? If asset recovery team need information from abroad, they got to go to MOJ, or they got to go to LSCC, or they got to go to GAC. Then what are they in existence for? Okay. If you can't go out to gather information and you have to go to another institution, then why not just turn that work over to the people who can go out and gather information? Okay, right. What's the point? So I feel like at that time, Boakai was facing maybe political pressure, whatever, and he needed to do something so the public can clap for him. So he just came up with this asset recovery thing. But I don't see them going anywhere with it, because at the end of the day, they will struggle from back-to-back legal defeat. And, eventually it will just fizzle out.
So let me conclude.
Yeah,
In the task force,
yeah,
I would like to compare the asset recovery team to that of yesterday and today.
yeah.
Doesn't it have to be a legal team to go after the assets recovery? And if so, you you live in Liberia and you are an attorney,
Mm-hmm.
you've got all of the qualification. What was wrong? I know you're probably going to say it's political again, but that's the only way I know how.
Yeah, go ahead, go ahead. If it's legal, I will answer it.
Yeah. So why is it that this current leadership were not able to hire or appoint neutral people and lawyers that have the knowledge in going after the asset recovery compared to that of what the CDC led government did when it took power to go after the assets recovery? What do you think is the reason not to have legal means involved, but instead social media activists?
Okay, firstly, I was opposed to this asset recovery thing at the time that it was introduced by CDC. Um, um, under Isaac Jackson for the same identical reason that I'm opposed to it now. Because let me tell you something, financial crimes last several years and take long periods. So you can't have an ad hoc arrangement to go after financial or crimes. It's not like somebody commit murder and you're looking for a murderer, and when you grab him, you put him on a plane, you bring him back. No. Financial crimes, sometimes you might have to deal with international financial institutions. Sometimes you might have to deal with a country commerce industry. You might have to deal with foreign affairs. So it's complex. And so you need a body that has, what should I say, perpetual duration that people recognize abroad. Okay? So you can't have an ad hoc agreement. Once it's time of ad hoc agreement, I know you're not serious. So, for example, I'll give you an example. Say the US FBI. They're not going to deal with asset recovery team. No. If you deal with national police, okay. Ministry of Justice, okay. LSCC, okay. Maybe to some extent GSC. But they're not going to have, they say, who this body is, asset recovery. What is asset recovery? I mean, it's just, so I disagree at the time. And sure enough, if you follow what happened under the CDC regime, they were not successful. And I know they were not successful because the first thing, I don't even trust Sabrina Seaforth, and at that time he and Arthur Johnson was on that thing. I just knew they were not really serious. Look, when you want to fight corruption, I think Bwaka set up a committee because the people who are in some of these institutions, he didn't appoint them. He needs to direct them and tell them what to do and what not to do. For example, the people at LSCC, he didn't appoint them. Okay? And it's in the national interest that they are serving. So if you're a president and respect the rule of law, it doesn't matter if you appoint them. You know, if you need to recover assets, you go to the people who have the responsibility for economic crime and work with them. But he didn't appoint them. He doesn't want to deal with them. So he decided to set up an asset recovery thing and put it in the office of the presidency. You know when last that thing happened? It was in 1975. So Bwaka is taking us back to 1975. That was when Towa established the National Task Force for Eradication of Corruption or whatever it is. Yeah, you don't set up an anti-corruption office and put it in the office of the president. Why are they there for? You want to tell them what to do? Okay, when you set up an anti-corruption body, you're not supposed to tell them what to do. You know? So I think it was political for him to establish the body and try to put it under the office of the presidency so that they can be right under his thumb and he can tell them, do this, don't do this, do that, and do that. Okay? And because I'm sure Martin, if he didn't have a problem with CDC, he would have rejected that job. But I guess because he feels that it's an opportunity to score some political points on people who may have, done something to him, so he took the job.
Wow. All right, okay, folks. So, yeah, go ahead, Rosalie.
Sorry, maybe the others have questions to ask, but
no, but go ahead.
Are those other agencies, the auditing agencies, that go after corrupt officials of the LCC, are they still functionable? Are they still functioning, or
Yeah,
are they?
that's the thing about it. Look, you got MOJ, you pay them every month. You got LCC, you pay them every month.
That's a
You got
waste.
GSC, you pay them every month. LMP, you pay them every month. Then you pay all the people, the work they're supposed to do, then you set up a new body to pay them again.
Yeah.
To do a work that they can't even do. Because I tell you, if you need to pursue information from another country, it is almost impossible for that asset recovery team to get any information if they don't go through one of these institutions that I am calling Justice Ministry, LSCC, or maybe FIU to some extent, LMP. Because LMP, for example, work with the Interpol. So they already exchanging information.
Correct.
FIU too got their own intergovernmental body that they operate through. And there is a network of prosecutors across West Africa, across the world. So those what we call a competent authority. Okay, that ad hoc committee that you put together is not a competent authority. So they can't cross the 47,000 or 43,000 square miles. They can't get out of there. What kind of recovery asset you're going to recover if you can't even get out of the Republic of Liberia to do anything? So that's why you see them going on the road to look for government cars. Okay,
Wow.
but that's a very limited perception of what asset recovery is.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much, Miss Wenley and Wonder. Great to have you here. We are digging deeper into all of this tonight, folks. If you just joined us here, this is the program Liberia First on GEO Hard Talk. We are in conversation with Attorney Wonder Freeman from Minnesota, digging deeper into the Gracious Right versus Asset Recovery Team, RL. Today, the Supreme Court, through the Justice in Chambers, Yousef Kaba, handed down some form of, I don't know what we can say, ruling or
what we call it in law, interlocutory ruling.
Interlocutory ruling.
Wow.
Yeah, technically it's a legal term, but it's kind of like temporary ruling.
Temporary.
Yeah, that's why it is.
Yeah. So here is it. We dealt with the March 28th stay order that was ordered. At least in that document, the legal terms were used: stay, don't proceed, yeah, or return all the seized vehicles, and don't proceed with seizing more cars and all of that. Today, we got this from the Supreme Court, April 8, 2024, addressed to Councilor Edwin Martin, Chairperson, the Asset Recovery Task Force, Monrovia, Liberia. And this one, the strange thing about this document, Wonder, the first one was directed to the Minister of Justice to make him prevail on the asset recovery team not to proceed and return the vehicles. But this one is addressed directly. Is it because the asset recovery team wrote the Supreme Court directly in this document right here, and they did not go through the Justice Minister? Or is it that because the Justice Minister, that's from our Digging Deeper department, the Justice Minister, the GSA Director were all mad about what the asset recovery team did on March 20, I think the 27th or so. Because when the next day they went to the court, when they began to seize people's cars before investigating, the GSA Director, you know, that Gisi man.
Oh.
Yeah, he was speaking to his Gisi family, who is a good friend, and said, "My medical embarrassed us, man. I told the papa to even let them go." Yeah. So Yousef Kaba, Associate Justice, this time around, did not write the Justice Minister, and the Justice Minister also is not the signatory to this document we are looking at. That's from Edwin Clark Martin.
Mm.
All right. Yeah. And the document I'll try to show you, the Supreme Court directly wrote to Clark Martin because Clark Martin wrote this document where they conceded, they yielded to the petition. They say, in parts, we yield to the petition. Don't take my car. Stop what you're doing. Okay, we agree. We yield in parts until we follow the rule of law. So here is that document today, the one that got everybody helter-skelter. Unity Party zealots and surrogates are celebrating. They say this is a win. But here is it. Dear Counselor.
Oh, but you're gonna read everything again?
Yeah, let me the one not long.
Okay.
Yeah. Because we got people who
go ahead.
Yeah, people who can read, they can be happy when we read these things.
Okay.
We got some old man there that following the show, they don't read.
Let me wait for you.
Thank you. Dear Counselor, in reference, gracious right by and through its manager, Francis T. Blamo, of the City of Monrovia petitioner versus the Asset Recovery Task Force, here headed by Councillor Edwin Martin, also of the City of Monrovia, respondent, petition for a writ of prohibition. By directive of His Honor Yousef D. Kaba, Associate Justice presiding in chambers, and considering the attached communication from the respondent. Our people then, they didn't bother to read the attached respondent, the attached communication from the respondent. Considering the attached communication from the respondent, you are hereby informed that the justice has declined to issue the writ prayed for by the petitioner, reserving the rights to the respondent to proceed in keeping with law. Wonder?
Yeah.
Let's get your legal understanding.
Okay, so because that case is political, people are making a lot of issue about it.
Yeah.
So I want to like describe it in a little bit like military terms. Maybe people understand it better. So let's say you in a war, you have an objective. And a war consists of several battles, right? You can have several battles in a war.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can have scrimmages.
Yeah.
So scrimmages is not even a battle. It's just small, you know.
Tension.
Yeah. So this is like a skirmish. So this is a long legal case. And because the public is so much interested in that, so every piece of paper that dropped, they take it seriously. But this is, because you see, it's not even signed by the judge to show you how it's not that relevant, because it's signed by the clerk of court.
The clerk of court.
That is to tell you how routine it is. Most likely this thing occur in what we call chamber session.
Chambers, yeah.
Yeah, meaning you're not even going in the courtroom. You're going to the judge office to discuss. And when you agree on something, then the judge will put it on paper and then the clerk will sign it. So technically, this thing doesn't say who owns the car, who doesn't own the car.
Mm-hmm.
It only say, okay, the sense the guys say they will proceed according to law, I will not stop them. Let them proceed according to law. Technically, that's why it's saying. So you wrote us and you said that you will proceed according to law. I wanted to stop you. But then you already promised that you will proceed according to law. So I will not stop you. I will allow you to proceed according to law.
They agree in part.
Yes.
According to them, they agree in part with the gracious right petition.
Yeah.
They agree not to go after their car.
So the judge is now saying, okay, normally the petition will lead to stopping them until the case can be resolved.
Right.
But since they already wrote and said, look, we agree what it was saying. We know we did some wrong things. We promised not to do it. we will just investigate, and then when we want to take action, we'll proceed in keeping with law. So the judge said, okay, fine. Then, okay, I will not stop you. You go ahead and you do your investigation. And when you're finished, you proceed according to law. So technically, I mean, the only thing I found inside, because normally it will like come with a number of days or a specific time period for them to do the investigation, because it can be indefinite, because if it's indefinite, they will come back to the court again. So I see this thing is going to like go back and forth, back and forth. That's why I call it a skirmish, because it's a long legal battle. And so every little piece of paper that drop, they probably pick it up and this and that. But I don't see, it really doesn't go to the heart of the case. It's just saying that since the people already agree that they will proceed according to law, then, because I wanted to tell you all to proceed according to law, but if you're already promising me you'll proceed according to law, then no problem.
What does that mean?
What it means is, for example, if you want to seize a property, you need a warrant. You have to go to the court. You have to establish what we call probable cause. And probable cause is not guesswork. You got to convince a judge that you have some evidence, and you can prove it if a case is called that somebody stole something, or somebody violated the law, or somebody did something like that. So, but when it comes to recovery, I want people to always remember that when it comes with recovery, it has to be a complete court case from beginning to end. You cannot take $1, or 1 needle pin from a Liberian citizen, except you exhaust the due process of law. And the due process of law is not only a court case, but it includes appeal. Because if you look at Article 20, and I think it got 2 sections, it talks about due process, then it talks about appeal. So the due process is also the court case, and then it's an appeal. So the two combine to make due process. 1 pin you can't take from a Liberian citizen without due process of law.
Due process.
No. So there is no such thing as asset recovery without due process. It means you got to go to court. It means you got to establish that the person stole this thing and they wrongfully possess it. It means you have to wait until the matter goes on appeal and the matter is resolved maybe at the Supreme Court or something like that before now you can now go and take that asset. So what they are saying is that if we want to take the car from the people, we will now proceed by going to court. And while you are going to court, you can't be in possession of it. You have to give it back.
Absolutely. So do we expect, based on what we've been seeing on social media today with the UP people celebrating, they call this a win, and they get an asset recovery, they go ahead to go after Gracious Right. Do we expect asset recovery on the streets tomorrow or anytime soon to begin to seize vehicles and people property without the due process? Do we expect them to do that anytime soon?
No, I don't see the likelihood of them doing it, because they already promised the judge that they will proceed according to
the law.
Yeah, so proceeding according to law means that the way you were doing it first,
it was not the right way.
That it was not correct. You now have to correct. And I think they're kind of pushing I don't know what they put the cart before the horse. The first thing they need to do is to investigate. You have to investigate, then you reach conclusions. Then you kind of write the people, if you can find them, to put them on notice that they are in possession of, assets belonging to the government. So they're seen as stages. But when you bring a man who already is an enemy of the former regime, then he has no time to go through those stages. He's on a vendetta mission. So that's why you see him. That's why they're doing this on a vendetta. And it's very sad, And Bwaka is presiding over all of this, because the first thing he took the asset recovery thing and put it in his office. Why are they doing it in his office?
Why didn't we see the Justice Minister communicating to the Supreme Court the letter signed about Edwin Martin? Why didn't we see that come from the Justice Minister?
They are established by law, because they are established according to what is executive order. So they are established by law, so they don't have to go to the Justice Ministry. But I think if they are getting out of Liberia, they will struggle to get recognition. So I don't see them
But
getting out of Liberia.
the question is against the backdrop. The first communication from the Supreme Court went to the Justice Minister, informing him to tell the Asset Recovery Team to desist and return the vehicle seized and put a stay on the seizures that were ongoing. The Asset Recovery Team, instead of the Justice Minister writing that communication to the Supreme Court, is Martin who wrote to the Supreme Court. And now the Supreme Court wrote Martin instead of the Justice Minister.
Yeah, but I mean, the Justice Minister, from what I see, they're not really a party to the case. I really don't know why the first communication was sent to them, because they're not a party to the case.
Okay.
Yeah, they're not party to the case, and for you to be a party to the case, you gotta be added there formally. So I don't really understand why they were rating in the first place, because they're not party to the case.
Do you think Gracious Right can make a claim for time wasted that was supposed to be running traffic? Can they make any claim for the Asset Recovery Team to pay them?
It's difficult. If the government is pursuing you on a criminal charge, unless it's malicious, intentional, and vindictive, unless that is the case and you can prove it, maybe you can get some kind of claim. But I think it's normally difficult. You will just be fortunate if they rule for you and you go by your business, you know.
But with this
I don't see them.
with this situation, can Gracious Right prove that they were witch hunted?
It's not normal. The practice, not a normal practice. Generally, when you on a criminal charge, from what I see, the asset recovery thing, they are saying that they stole, right? I think that's the essence of what they are saying.
Yeah.
So it's unlikely that if they pursue, because if it's a private entity, I would say yes. But if it's a government entity, to pursue the government and say, okay, since just think about it, all the criminals the government will charge, if all of them say the government wasted their time and pursue them illegally, the government, will not be able to have money to clear all these people. So I don't see them.
I know you in a country where people can come out of jail after 30 years, they pay their heavy money.
Well, in some of those cases, two things. In like a place like the US, right? They have professional like units where people can file for malpractice.
Right.
So when those things are investigated and the body itself admit that they committed malpractice, then they themselves of their own accord can decide to do some compensation because they have investigated and they acknowledge that they committed malpractice. But we don't have those kinds of things in Liberia. So policemen can beat you up, put you in jail for even 3 months, and when they did it for you, just tell God thank you and you go your way. Because if you go to the Liberia National Police Malpractice Division, most likely your case will never be heard. I had several complaints to the National Police, for example, and not a single one of them were ever heard. So, so I don't see them winning in that regard. What they will consider win, if they go to court and the government is unable to prove the case that these cars belong to the government, that would be a win. But I don't see them saying like there will be damages for us not like running our business. I don't see that likely.
Miss Winley, go ahead, and then we'll bring Miss Chapin right after you.
Yeah.
Okay, so Councillor Freeman.
Yeah, Attorney Freeman.
In this case, like you rightly said, that when Mr. Gilman asked on the damages, and you said unless it is malicious, or other illegal terminology. So for me, I think this case fit that terminology of being malicious. So there should be hope for Gracious Right for the loss and damages for the number of days that the government took access of their business without going through the proper channel. So if you don't go through the proper channel, of course it is malicious. So,
but it's early yet to say that because, like I said, this whole is a interlocutory ruling.
Mm-hmm.
It's a temporary ruling. It is not establishing who owns or who doesn't own the car.
but it was
It's
after
only
the fact,
saying
Councillor.
who can you continue your investigation or do you need to stop? I think that's what they are arguing
Yeah.
over.
And
And
that
the
argument
guy
is
is saying, okay, if you promise me that you will proceed according to
the
law,
law. Yeah.
then I will allow you
To
to
continue.
continue your investigation. That's the
Correct.
essence of the ruling. So they have to wait for them to go to court and for the government to fail to prove its case. Then we will establish now that, okay, when the government loses the case, then you can establish it, okay, it was malicious, it was intentional, and stuff like that. But my experience with the Liberian jurisprudence is not advanced to that level for you to make those kind of claims against the government. Because let's take, for example, Janet case.
Mm-hmm.
Janet went to ECOWAS and established that the government wrong here. What was the result of Janet case? So many years passed by and Janet had not been given $1. So the Liberia is really not a country at that level yet, where when these things occur, you can file a counterclaim and stuff like that.
Right.
But he won the case with the echo with the.
He won, but what's the point? I mean, up to now he has not gotten 1 cent.
Yeah.
So
No doubt.
are you saying based on that?
So I'm saying your whoever gracious, a gracious attempted, maybe she might meet with the same.
Because I mean that's a sabotage right there. She took loan, or allegedly they took loan, and this seizing of the cars were based on hearsay and rumors from the onset. The fact that they see this individual having those fleet of cars, they just assume because you work for government.
Yeah, but Rose, the case not ended yet.
The case has
I want you to take that into consideration.
Right.
That the case has not ended. So it's possible that the case will end and she will be told that those cars are government cars, so she cannot own them. So we have to wait for that.
She will be told to proceed with her business.
Fine. So for you to establish that she has a claim against the government, we have to wait for the case. Like I said, this particular aspect of the case is just a small portion trying to find out, or if you do you promise? Like what the husband and wife can say, do you promise to love this woman, whatever? He said, yes, I do.
In simple terms, it's like the 2 women and 1 baby.
Mm-hmm.
And what did the wise man say? Let me split the baby in half.
Yeah.
And the other woman said, no, don't split the baby.
Yeah.
Give her the baby. So the decision of the court here today, the temporary decision. Now, you say what? Interlocutory?
Yeah, interlocutory.
Interlocutory ruling is temporary. And it because Gracious Right asked the court to stop the government, prohibit the government from going after assets recovery. Yeah. And the court said the government has a right to go after her asset recovery. But you can't go about it in a way
unlawfully.
You started. Yeah.
So you agree that it was unlawful?
Yeah, but that's only a temporary part of the case. We have not established who actually owned this car.
Right. The asset recovery stated it in their own communication to the court that we agree to stop going after people the wrong way. We will now proceed according to law.
According to law, yeah.
Yeah. They stated in their own communication that what the judge said, considering the
what
attachment,
you said,
considering the attachment from the respondent, this is what we will do. and that attachment from the respondent says a lot. So somebody said, go and read the last paragraph of that. Go read the last paragraph of the attachment. Don't just look at that 2 paragraph from the court. Miss Chapin, welcome. How you doing?
Yeah, so Rosso, let me just conclude. What I'm saying, the right for her to pursue or even say that her business was sabotaged or anything like that has to wait until it establishes who actually owns these vehicles. And that's a final ruling. So even the first court, when the first court rule is not even final, chances are it will go to the Supreme Court. So you're talking about maybe another 1 or 2 years.
The burden of proof in this case to establish ownership, it rests with the government, right?
Yeah, that's it. That's it. So we still far off yet.
If I get my cell phone and you say it's government cell phone, you have to show where did the government buy this cell phone, when did the government give it to me, or when did I take it from government coffers or government storage and all of that. So government have to prove that yes, these glacial rise taxes are governments. Before you think about painting it blue and white or red, white, and blue and turn it to police cars, you got to first prove how did they come into the country, by what means. Ms. Chapin.
So we got
Roslyn, hold
on.
You
gotta let me go so that you can count on your political show.
Let me open the lines. After Ms. Chapin won't open the lines, I leave for 2-3 callers so that we can have the community engaged.
Yeah, Mr. Gilman, I just have one question to ask, but
ever since I see your line was open. But,
oh no, I can't interrupt, Mr. Gilman.
I got you. Let the lady go and then you're gonna come. The gentleman will wait for you. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, Councilor Freeman. Freeman.
Yeah.
Thank you. I really appreciate your explanation. It's so informative and educating us on some legal aspect. What I want to ask you walk around it already, but I just want to ask it in another way. Because the gracious right, for example, is a commercial institution, and parking their cars for even a couple of hours or a day, definitely they have lost income. So I'm like, okay, so they lost income, but then you said that even in the China case, nothing has been done in instance to cover what the income that is lost or something like that, or damages or something. But what I want to ask is that though government might not be able to pay gracious right her money, and if the case goes through the legal processes, and in the final judgment, and if gracious right is the owner of the car and it's legitimate, ownership, to not attached to government or income or stolen money. So at that point, can we say that the institution has suffered? I mean, what is the legal room for us to say that the institution has suffered some loss, be it damage to their business reputation or be it income? Can we definitely say that at this stage, if I'm just giving you I'm just doing an estimate. I've come from statistic background, so
go ahead.
I'm just doing an estimate or projection that if they win eventually, can we say they can file for loss of income and damage to their reputation?
It's theoretically possible, and that's why I'm using the term theoretically possible.
Yeah, because
you sustain damages for the closing of your business, but practically it doesn't really work in practice, even though it's theoretically possible. It's a very difficult thing when you have cases against the government. You know, when you
So,
win them, because even if you win them, you have to go back to the same government to pay you. They can
so
decide not to pay you. Like as we speak, I got a ruling against the government for almost $10,000. It has gone so many years, they have never paid. And they have never paid because some people in the government just have decided they have power, they're not going to pay, you know. So, I mean, on a practical level, sometimes as lawyers, we don't bother to waste our time on those kinds of things. If the government say you stole, if they take you to court and the government cannot prove that you stole, you tell God, thank you, you pack your Satoka and you go. But if you say, oh, the government wasted my time, I have not been working, I should have earned money, so I'm going to pursue them, you could stay forever on a case like that. So theoretically, yes, but practically, I don't have that experience in terms of people making those kinds of claims and succeeding. That's why I even mentioned the Janet case. He's won the case, but it
Rosalind,
took so many
you go ahead.
years.
Let me come back in, okay?
You know,
Okay.
he has not done anything. So yes, let's just accept that it's theoretical, but from all practical purposes, these are very unlikely to recover from it. But
yeah,
I will also intune that it's too early to make those kinds of claims because the ruling that came from the court is not about who owns
yeah,
those
property.
cars. It's only about the procedure. So the asset recovery team has promised the court that they will proceed according to law, meaning that they will utilize the court system. So we have to wait for them to utilize the court system, and the court system are two parts to it. We call the trial court, where the first time they will have the case, that's the trial. And if whoever is not satisfied, reserve the right to go above. But most likely, if they are proceeding in a criminal manner, only only gracious right may likely go to the Supreme Court. The government, if the government loses, they lose. They're not likely to go to the Supreme Court. But with gracious, if they lose in the lower court, they can go to the Supreme Court and pursue the battle there further.
With the asset recovery, do they have the legitimacy to take Christian right to court if they
Oh, you're taking us back now. I thought you said you were listening to the show.
Yeah, I was listening, but because
yes, they do have the legitimacy
maybe
when you are president. Like if you are president,
yeah.
Under Liberian law, you can set up an institution without necessarily going to the legislature. But normally people set up temporary structures under those kind of arrangement. You don't set up like what is supposed to be a permanent structure, because with a permanent structure, you need to go to the legislature to pass it. And because, like I said, a financial crime case will normally go for several years. So when you set up an institution that lasts for 1 year to run after a case that go for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years, I mean, you're not solving a problem, because if a financial crime case takes 2, 3, 4, 5 years, and this body is set up lasts only 1 year, it is not the most appropriate body to do those kinds of work. But like I said, I think they were mostly thinking politically. I don't think they were thinking legally. And that's how they got into this arrangement that they have. Even the way they constituted, and the people they put on that committee can tell you that they are more interested in political objectives than in legal objectives.
Okay, so one of our panelists would like to come on to ask you a question. Mr. Chilando Tomasa.
Yeah, thank you, sis, Rosalind. Let me say hi to Antonio Freeman. My question is just straightforward. If today you were the Attorney General of the Republic of Liberia, what would be your recommendation to the Commander-in-Chief as it relates to the whole legal debacle, as a recovery, jacking people car on the street? What would be your recommendation as the Attorney General if you were being in that position?
Well, I'm a straight talking person. So most likely I will tell the president, look, we have several institutions that we are paying to do this work. It doesn't make any sense to have 4 or 5 different institutions we pay to do the work. We leave those 4 or 5 and we set up another body to do this work. And even the body that we set up cannot do the work, we add the 4 or 5. And those 4 or 5 institutions include the police, the Ministry of Justice, the LACC, GSC, FIU. Those
NSA.
bodies are set up by statute to do that particular work that has been turned over to the Asset Recovery Team. So, and that's how we are poor in Liberia. That's part of the reason why we are poor. Because we don't use our resources wisely. What sense does it make to have 4 or 5 different institutions pursuing corruption? You leave all those 4 or 5, you set up another body. That's why I told you, even when CDC did it, I was opposed to it. And I'm now continue to be opposed. And people who are opposed to this kind of thing, we don't get government jobs. So I know you just speculating, but it's very unlikely that someone like me is going to get a government job because I don't have the time to make people happy. I'm only interested in telling people the truth. So people like all, it's very unlikely that we'll get anywhere near Attorney General job.
Thank you very much.
See that.
Yeah. Another question, Tamasa?
No, it's okay. Thank you, Attorney Freeman.
Let's bring Mr. Gayman, Jerome Gayman. Welcome, my friend.
Thank you very much.
Is this the guy, or are you confusing us here?
I think you're confused. You might be from Miami. Attorney Freeman, welcome. Today, the ruling from the Supreme Court, from the layman's standpoint, when it came out first, I would say, I won't speak for we, I mistook it for a deviant ruling on the part of the justice in court, in chamber. But after speaking to people like you and other legal luminary, it turned out that what is read in layman term is not how it is interpreted. So I'm glad that you are here. Now, in this case, that the right folks have won, what is the option now for the government? What is it they have to do, or what do you foresee them doing next? Because they have had 2 black eyes now. So what will be their next move? Because we're playing chess now.
Yeah.
They don't have a choice because they have made a commitment to the court that they will pursue their objective according to the rule of law.
According to the law, yeah.
And by rule of law, what we mean is that you have to start with notice. If you have an issue with somebody, you have to notify them of the issue. You probably have to give them a chance to respond. If you think that they violated the law, especially over property ownership, then you have to go to court. And you can't dodge the going to court. As far as property ownership is concerned, you just can't dodge that part of it. Whether you want to do a temporary seizure, whether you want to do a freeze, or any other thing related to property ownership, what you just can't dodge the court.
But
so the people he put together, they are mostly politicians, and because they go on like social media, political forum, they just talk loosely. So they don't know how the law works. They just think, oh, they go to Pinchville and they see, houses. They say, oh, tomorrow morning we'll take all the houses here.
Yeah. So that's where my question was coming.
So what they have to do now, I would think, firstly, is to investigate. Get off on the street and go back to your office and investigate. Establish that a crime was committed or a violation of law was committed. Communicate to those people, because if you communicate to them, sometimes the person decides, like, man, I don't want problem with government. So they, instead of going to court, communicate first, because some people will cooperate. So communicate.
So
then some people will cooperate. The people who will not cooperate, then you now take it next step further to go to court. Starting from, if you want to seize property, you got to go to court. If you want to freeze, you got to go to court. If you want to take it from there and put it in the name of the government, you got to go to court. So there is just no such thing as getting around going to court.
So before we open up the lines, everybody know Carrasco was the president's special aide, and can the asset recovery team just get up and say, let Red Carrasco, let him can show proof of ownership of the cars he's driving?
Yeah, if they have evidence, they have what we call probable cause, they can do it, but they can't seize it, because even seizure would mean you have to go to court. Seizure, just seizure, and that's the lowest level of.
But can you just
dispossession
suspect,
of assets? Let me just grade the dispossession for you.
Uh-huh.
There is seizure, and on a seizure, it means maybe you just want to look at something. So you go to the court, you say, look, I want to take the thing, I want to take a good look at it to find out. The court can allow you to go and take it and look at it for a temporary period. Maybe short term, the court can give you 72 hours or 1 week or whatever and say, yeah, go take it, look at it. Then there is freeze. Okay, the court can say, look, put this thing on pause because we want to either do a court case or what. That's freeze.
Yeah.
The asset freeze. Then, of course, they got asset forfeiture or asset recovery. That one, the court case has to end what we call in Liberia, right? That means the first case has to end.
Yeah.
Then there has to be an appeal. The appeal has to end. Anything associated with that case has to end.
Right.
Before you can now take it from Gilman and say, okay, Republic of Liberia, here is it.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you very much, folks. Our lines are open. Call us here at 313-957-9702. WhatsApp and direct, same number. We'll put it through with attorney Wonder Freeman. Let's take our first caller on the line here from New Jersey, Musa Brown. Welcome.
Hey, how you doing, Mr. Gilman? And how you doing to all the panelists? Also, how you doing, Anthony Freeman?
Thank you.
Mr. Gilman, when this asset recovery started, I worked with an institution that has a group of Liberians. And then we got together, and I said, I'm not a lawyer, but I said to them that this thing will not get anywhere, because if I was on that team, even not as a lawyer or a financial expert, I can sit to my office and make sure that wherever I think that money business transacted, or I go to the GAC or LACC and evoke documents, research them, work with them, and write people before those things are done. You write and invite, and make sure before you write somebody that those people that you invited, you got evidence to give them. Even in your writing, you can attach to that letter the evidence you have for them that this is the information I have. Just as Anthony Freeman the same day. And literally today, in a day, face the issue. Freedom FM AB discussed exactly what Anthony Freeman said. The same thing, word for word. So are we now opening class for the men who spent 42 years in government? Are we opening class for somebody who called himself a counselor at law, who sit at that power, who's supposed to be giving education to somebody like Gonkwe or Mountain Collie? No, it shouldn't be like that. When we want Liberia to change, it means when we're bringing people to the land light, these people must be educated to the job that they are coming to do. And they should come with passion, sincerity,
right?
Not with a political mind. These are the very people that said that the Mountain Collie was called Rescue Rambo. But you put your asset recovery, where are you going? He running behind Carrasco because he think Carrasco, he and Carrasco, they see age. He running behind Finabono. He looking at Joe, we have five houses. And those are before. So because you're living in one room before, when you work, don't pay house. When you work for government, when you pay house, then you steal. Where are we going? Irony. We're going back to the same old place. Yeah. If we want Liberia to develop, just as Anthony Freeman has said, we must bring people on board that will develop the mind, that will be able to talk to the international community and far back to recover our money that has been in a stretch bank in other areas. Now with a mindset that, look, I put you in my office. This is what the president did. You can't sit in my office so that when I pray at somebody, I go after the president.
Thank you very much, Musa.
Thank you so much, Mr. Gaiman. God bless you, Atty. Freeman.
You're welcome. Let's take Elvis Morris.
Mr. Gilman,
yes, sir.
Thank you for taking my call.
No doubt.
Yeah, thank you, and hello to the other panelists. Hello to Attorney Freeman. I think Mr. Gilman is there too. Yeah. We were just on a show on Sunday together, so it's nice to see them again. Look, I don't know. I think it was Attorney Freeman who brought in this dynamic, and I never thought about it. Look, LSCC. The reason why I think he circumvented the LSCC and went to establish this,
Asset Recovery
Team. Yeah. Like most people, like people are saying, and I never thought about it. It just brought it to my attention today. Like he doesn't trust those guys on the LSCC. Maybe he think they'll be either too independent or they will be leaning CDC because they were appointed by the CDC government.
Right.
Which is like he's setting up this whole thing that what if a new government comes into play after this Boycott administration? That administration should change everybody that Boycott put into place because he has that same mentality that if these guys are here and it was, nominated by the former president, I can't trust them.
Yeah.
So by that very logic, the next administration should remove all of his people that he's putting there because, quote unquote, they can't trust them. So I never thought about it, but that's a smart analysis to make. And the thing that people keep missing is that Attorney Freeman keep making that point, and I always use it in my argument. Retrieval and recovery. You saw Nigeria do asset recovery where they were going to Georgia, they went to the Swiss banks, they went to Great Britain. Look, it takes time. It takes forensic, auditing. It takes a lot of skills, and people who have the gravitas and the international connection and the international reputation to go out there and demand money for African countries to recover asset that was, fraudulently stolen. There was a lady from Nigeria who I think stole close to $1 billion and ran away, I think, to the Bahamas or someplace. She was like the former finance minister. And they've been trying to get her, and it took, I don't know how many years. I don't even think they've gotten her yet. She bribed the people of the Bahamas, gave them a lot of money so they don't extradite her back to Nigeria. So those are the kind of high-level things when we're talking about asset recovery. Not somebody who get tested. You go put people like one way on the road, acting like he's some kind of thug trying to arrest people and stop people arbitrarily to tell them they need to seize their property. Like somebody said, Finabono working government for 6 years, we're getting paid every month.
Every month.
We know how, for those of us that live in America, we know what percentage of our paycheck go to our mortgage or our rent. We know what go to our car. The people ain't got that kind of thing, like, bro. So most of the money is expendable, So the thing that somebody can buy those small things, that little smart cars, and what maybe you pay 10,000 or 9,000 for one of them. Somebody who working government for 6 years, got paid every month, thousands of dollars. They ain't able to buy or start a company. So the idea is just like people say, it's out of jealousy.
Right.
And the very same thing that these people are doing, this is what some of these guys are already setting up. They're trying to set up their companies, trying to do things. The very same thing people were doing during President Weah, trying to secure their legacy and secure their family's future. That's the same thing Boycott people is doing right now.
Right. And
when the next government come and they start to audit them, they will say that wish on that because we audited the Weah government and coming after us, they will cry. The people know how to cry. They know how to cry and complain on the government like they did during the Weah presidency. So for me, I like the analysis of the attorney. I think he was right on point, but I think President Boycott has to be careful. And I will give him this call. Coup. The chance of a coup in our country is low right now, but it's never zero. If you push people, so far to, back to against the wall, they will react. They will bounce back. That's why you saw President Weah. He took his time. When he realized people were pushing back too much, he said, you know what? I'm not going to be a dictator. I'm not going to strong arm people for the sake of this country, because he could have done it if he wanted to.
Yeah.
But you know that tyranny is a slippery slope, because once you do it, you got to continue to do it in order to save face.
Yeah.
So the best thing to do is not to be a tyrant, because once you go down that line, you got to continue to go. Once you start to relinquish, people see you to be weak. That's why President Weah didn't go down the road of Samuel Doe or the child state of the country to be free and people to express themselves. President Boyka, what he's doing with Yaga Koloba, we all disagree with it. But if he tried to strong arm it, or his sons tried to strong arm it, thank God for Chambuya. He didn't have one violent bone about it to say, you know what, I'm a pa. He should try to put himself in a Chucky Taylor kind of way to try to be a militant to protect his father's reputation, like Jojo Boyka is trying to do.
Yeah.
Trying to be some kind of henchman for his father and trying to do things clandestinely to go against his father perceived enemies. Those things can lead, can lead to chaos against your family and your father, especially when you're not in power. Or even while you're in power, people can go against you and go against your whole family and retaliate.
Thank you.
My advice to these guys is take it slow, and let's remember that after 6 years, there will be more Liberia, and your family life will need to be going on after the 6 years. But thank you, Mr. Gayman. I didn't want to be too long-winded. Thank you.
No doubt. Thank you very much, Elvis Morris from Minnesota. Yeah, please mute your lines. I will bring you in the order you came in. Please mute your lines in the background. Please mute your line. I just took a caller. I don't want to say your name. Please mute your line. Okay, let's bring on 215-0296. Hello?
Hello, Mr. German.
Yeah, your name?
My name is Christopher Siaka, a religious follower of your show.
Welcome, Chris.
Yeah, I used to live in California, but now moved to North Dakota.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah. Now, but I listened to the Leonard Anthony, and I mean, he couldn't have said it better than what he said tonight. For me, for the first day I saw the Asset Recovery Team in the streets of Monrovia like cod neck chicken, I knew they were headed for nothing. Because in one of our chat rooms, we were arguing, and I told someone, I said the first thing the people got available tools at their disposal, they're not making use of them only because of envy and jealousy.
Mm-hmm.
The GSA, every time government issue property, they got inventory at the GSA. And those were included in the turnover note.
Right.
Those are some of the tools they can use. And you can also use the code. Instead of just took yourself in the street or obstructing traffic, just grabbing people here and there. Those are the people who claim they came with experience. They're not proceeding well. The first thing when I saw the name of Gonkwe, the karate man who say he advocate, and the other Uncle Bookman, Martin Colley. Those people come with perception already. Those people, they started levying accusation of former government official at the time.
Yeah.
Without even a iota of truth. Because you see Mr. Gilman today, his life has transformed. Do you think Mr. Gilman still all live the same life he living when he got a better job?
Right.
And that's it. And that's the thing about our country. That's why you see the way we young people, we envy people, generational envy that work at us the way we are. And trust me, that president, we all knew that this would have come the way it coming. It's not strange to some of us. It's just new to other people. I want to say thank you ever so much for the good work you're doing for our country. And kudos to the Anthony for always coming on to provide some legal insight of all the program. Yeah, thank you ever so much. I'll stay following.
No doubt. Thank you very much, Shaka. Thank you. Great to have you on here. Back to Minnesota. Jerry say, Jerry, welcome. From there we'll go to 2P Taylor.
Mr. Gilman.
Yes, sir.
How are you, sir?
I'm good. How you doing?
Yeah, not bad. I just remember that I was home. Let me use tell my other phones so I can listen to the show.
Right.
You know, from my end, it can be difficult.
We'll fix that problem.
Yeah, I bump into the conversation, but everybody's saying the same thing, except those from the other side who really have a hate and envy for certain people, and they want to go after them and disgrace them. And we have a country of law, so these things will not happen easily. No matter how they write on Facebook, they can make all kinds of hateful posts. The law is there, and the law will not permit them to. They will just continue to fall in their own sin. And once it is done properly, and you can get hold of criminals, everyone all want to get rid of criminals in our country. So if you do it properly, we all celebrate it. But this is one thing, Mr. Gilmore, I want to just put in a little bit. Now, just in my time, have you noticed the people trying to force the 100-day achievement on Joseph Kaba, posting roles that President Weah did? All the things they buy 1 gallon of. But
the people don't have a budget.
They don't have. That's the thing I don't understand.
They don't have a budget. So how are they carrying on development? Who's spending money?
Mr. Gilmore, I got kind of shocked when somebody posted that thing and said, "I'm putting that share that thing so we can get other people views. Let's see what other people know what's going on. What other people understand that we're trying to lie our way." You understand? What's the roles that President Weah did, and then saying Joseph Boakai, you haven't been able to buy 1 gallon of fuel to put in yellow machine. To even start a yellow machine, you ain't do it yet. And you posting roles? And see the other thing again, I saw running around to that jetty role plane. Like Joseph Boakai brought new investor in the country. That is President Weah started a long years ago. And during the election, we saw President Weah and his former vice president right to that place. And they were showing how the production is going to. They were the same people condemning that thing. So they're running around with it. Come on, man. These people, they got to, I don't know what reality they're depending on. They got to stand up for what reality they believe in. And these are things they were talking against. They spoke against that thing, that jetty rubber plate. They said it wasn't real. And today I know what are real Joseph Boakai people say that somebody they dress the Joseph Boakai over there. Oh, Mr. Gilmore, man, they continue to bring shame on themselves, man. Let me give space that other people come in. I swear this thing when I see it, it can really get to me. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Jerry. Let's take our last caller here. Tupi.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Good evening to all.
You gotta turn the video off in the back.
No, it's off.
We're getting echo from you.
No, not from me. Nothing on here. Everything is off. You okay now?
Yeah, go ahead. It's there. It's still there.
Oh.
You on speaker? Do you have speaker?
Yeah.
Okay, off the speaker.
Okay, off it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Mr. Gamer, thank you for the show, and I just called this evening to give my contribution to the show. What's going on in Liberia, Mr. Gamer? I have seen it, studied it, and I've gotten to realize that Liberians don't like to see productive people. Fina Bono was selling in Riwaji when I used to be in Liberia. She had big stove in Riwaji, struggling for her own money. This woman worked for 6 years.
What
The
year
woman made
was
more.
that in Riwaji?
In Riwaji, that when Nathaniel Williams was living, he was senator. I can't remember the
year
mean
was
year.
that?
I can't remember the mean year, but at the time, Nathaniel Williams was senator of Riwaji.
Right. Okay, great.
Yeah, during that period. But this woman made, if I'm not making mistake, Mr. Gamer, you must have made more than 100 trips with the president on DSA. Who were working in government don't want to get DSA. And you get that DSA, you got a privilege to travel with the president almost everywhere. What you do with that money? Go sit down and drink beer?
Yeah.
And in the hotel, and other people take that and make it productive. Turn it over to make more money already. And people get angry with that. So Joseph didn't take the money. They turn into businesses, they buy a truck to make money already. People get vexed. They say they're stealing. Thank God, Sergeant, they're not there today. Tomorrow, they're not there, and the other people there will see them. Whether they will not pay us, you make 5,000 at a deputy minister. Whether you not pay us, 11 you at your business. I think. So the whole thing we see going around is envy, angry winner. Certain people they feel that money in our country means agreement. Certain people entitled to eat money and it's okay. Certain people entitled to eat good life, live good life, it's okay. But certain people, when you're attached to George Weah, I think you are off the mark. That's what happened in the country. The people have divided the country into class system. George Weah is of a lower class, and any other person besides George Weah is a better class. So when you join in, you're a better class. Mayakuna is a better class today. On his boyfriend, I heard Martin Colley posted talking about a distinct gentleman. So it tell you who the people are. Can you imagine? Yeah, Jeremiah Kuna, he called him a distinct gentleman. Happy birthday to him. So like the other country governments are giving you're playing your part. Whatever we're doing, we'll try our best, but that's it. The people don't like productive people. They like to see good things. Yeah, they don't like it. That what happening in the country. None of them like it. They know they ain't thinking. They know the right thing. Right. They know if you ain't getting nobody money, you not save her money, her salary, her DSA when she travel with the president and pull it into businesses to find job for other people, so that when she not in government, her business running.
Thank you
So
very
that what
much.
happening.
No doubt.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, yeah, for allowing me to get on the show tonight.
Absolutely. Thank you. All right, folks. So that was our last caller there, Tupi Taylor. Let's come back to our guest, Attorney Wendell Freeman, for his analysis and parting comments. What do you want to leave with us here tonight? But first, this one last question. The Supreme Court document today, was it a small win for Gracious Right or a big win? Was it a loss for Gracious Right and a win for Asset Recovery? What will you say to somebody walking on the street when you are discussing the interlocutory paper today? What will you tell that person?
I think I started by saying it's a win for the rule of law.
Yeah, that's what you said.
Because we all agree that they were
Who does the rule of law benefit in this case?
Well, it should benefit everybody, I guess. The rule of law should benefit everybody. But I think the key thing there is that when a government institution is proceeding contrary to the rule of law,
yeah,
a private individual can take up the case and go to the court, and the court can order that institution to proceed according to law. And specifically, the rate of prohibition is applied for when somebody either is exceeding their jurisdiction or they are proceeding by what we call the wrong rules, or probably they are proceeding without any rules. That's when people apply for it. But in this case, the judge had no reason to go further because the man wrote and said, okay, we concede to some of the things in the petitioner paper.
Right.
We concede. So the judge is like saying, okay, since you concede, well, almost like what the reporter say, go and sin no more, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so say you concede, okay, then no problem. I will not issue this rate against you, but I caution you to go and continue to operate under the rule of law. And my understanding of operating under the rule of law is that if you need to take away property from one person and give it to another person, or you need to take away property from the government, from a private citizen to give it to the government, you have to go to court and establish that that private citizen is wrongly in possession of that property. And not only do you have to establish it in the first court, you have to establish that even on appeal. So it probably is going to take some time. So what happened is just a temporary ruling that it's just almost like warming up in a sense. Let's just call it that way. It's like a warm-up session for both parties. And I think for me, I see it as like a good thing because what it encourages other people that if the government is proceeding contrary, you can go to court and you
Go to
can
court.
have
Yeah.
compel them to proceed according to the rule of law here.
Right. Absolutely. Well, Rosalie, I'll give you 1 minute to say thanks to one there on behalf of the team here tonight.
Okay, Counselor, on behalf of me and my panelists, we want to say thank you so much for your
Yeah,
clarification.
we actually got him at the last minute on a short notice.
Wow.
Yeah.
And my observation was that the counselor didn't want you to read all that stuff.
Yeah, because I'm hoping that you could like fast quick with the
Okay,
time.
so my advice to you, Councilor Freeman, next time when you come here on this panel, make sure your time is free from every other engagement just to concentrate on us because we like to give our poor people or innocent people the knowledge so they can take it home and be able to explain it for the future. So I just want to say that. But thank you so much. Your deliberation on this issue of the asset recovery was so splendid and well explained, and it was understandable to the low man out there. And I really want to appreciate you for taking our invitation to come on a short notice. So thank you so much for that. I highly appreciate it. I'm looking forward to seeing you again.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we'll do that. And then we agree on the time ahead.
And let
We
me
agree on the
let me
time
personally
limitation.
thank Jerome Gayman. He confused me with the guy today. He said I bring you one Attorney Freeman. I said that's my brother. You know, we was supposed to be called Freeman, but then we we,
Yeah.
we we got the Gilman name. But
And before
it was
and
it was
before sorry, Mr. Gilman, for cutting you off. Before the counselor go, I didn't hear anything from our apostle.
Apostle
Any
spoke.
question? He was muted. I mean, he was
No,
quiet the whole time.
Apostle spoke. Apostle asked questions.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Yes, I asked a question and we just allowed, thank you, Rosemary, we allowed the Anthony to flow, Freeman, Honorable Freeman to flow. And he
Okay,
did
okay.
extremely,
Sorry about
And
that.
he
I
did
dodged some
Yeah,
extremely
of the
well.
questions because some of them were political, so I dodged some of them.
yeah.
I'm
No,
not here
but
for a political thing.
you did extremely well. You delved into the issue of
Right.
this gracious right versus asset recovery team, the documents that came out of the Supreme Court. You were able to explain them to us in legal terms, in layman terms, and all of that. You know, uh, uh,
Right.
uh,
Yeah,
and then people,
financial crime is my thing. I
yeah,
kind of specialize in financial crime, so I'm always excited to talk about it, and
right,
it's always a nice thing. And I had background, I worked with the LACC in Liberia
Okay.
for like almost 5 years. And I
Oh,
also worked with the FIU in Liberia for like 3 years.
yeah,
okay.
So, and I'm a certified financial crime specialist. So, I
Wow.
mean, if you want the details of how money laundering, grand corruption, and asset recovery, and everything associated with financial crime, technically I'm the person to talk to. So, but
Wow.
it's nice. I guess we'll be talking again, but we need to work on the time.
absolutely.
Right.
Thank you very
Okay, so
much.
Jerome,
Thank you
thank
so
you for
much.
introducing me to your people, and I know we'll
Yeah,
talk again.
thank
Thank
you
you.
very much, one there.
Okay, so you enjoy the rest of your day.
You as well. Thank you very
You
much.
too.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, that was our guest on here, Anthony Wondell Freeman. Very great analysis, great
Hmm.
analysis from him there.
Right.
Uh, time if I spend, folks, into the 2.5 hour mark. Uh, so we'll just go around the room here, and I know people want to go into the Yeka Koluba story,
Yes.
the CDC, the CDC responded to the Civil Service Administration today, strongly worded critical of that 40,000 Vlad that is on there. So, but we don't have much time to discuss it. We're gonna put it for tomorrow conversation. So we can't even discuss the Yeke Koluba story. So let's.
Is it so long to
Eh?
discuss? Can we?
No, we
break?
can talk a little bit about it, and we'll go around the table with the Yeke Koluba story. We saw what happened today.
Mhm.
In fact, Yeke began to give news conferences lately. A conference on yesterday was
Yeah.
explosive.
Mhm.
Sunday, April 7th news conference was very explosive. He came down saying a whole lot of things as it relate to Joseph Boakai, his marital, everything, his children and everything. All right. But these were the things that our folks celebrated Yeke Koluba for. When he was after President George Weah, uh, uh, they celebrated him
Oh yes.
for these very things, to the extent that you know, uh, uh, they did a poster. Somebody did a poster with Yeke. Let me make it big for all of you. Look at what. That's why we played that video when Yeke was dancing. It was when he won the election in District 10,
Yes.
2023.
Yes.
That's why we played that video. All right. Everybody that are today or that is today condemning Yeke because he's insulting Joseph Boakai and his family, they all celebrated Yeke when he did the same thing to President Weah. Why we don't support insults? Because this platform is noted for that. We don't support insults. All right. But they say what souls for the goose, souls for the gander.
For the gander.
Yeah. All right. Everybody, including Darius DeLong, Martin Colley, Amos Tue, Mo Ali,
Homeboy.
Karishma, Pelham Rad, Spoon TV, The Criminal, Patrick Horner,
Mo Ali.
Yomli Kanga Lawrence, all right? The Fadiga brothers.
Yeah.
Everybody hailed Yeke Koluba when he went after President Weah. They didn't stop him.
No.
Senator Darius DeLong openly stated he will stone the president convoy, and if they bring guns, they will not know where the guns will come from. Bam! In my
And if he
Henry
doesn't
Costa
come
voice.
out of his house, they will go to his house.
Yeah. Bam! In my Henry Costa voice. They found gun in his campaign with one of his aides. Darius DeLong's campaign. They found gun there. NSA did not invite him. When Yeke was doing everything to President Weah, and he even took 2 arms to the protest. It was Henry Costa who told us that Yeke had guns. The government said Yeke had guns. They say, oh, the government going after Yeke. NSA did not call Yeke Koluba to ask him about the guns. Nothing. Nobody. Darius DeLong told the police at the police station. Yeah, you want to do nothing or this and that. You want me to start trucking? I'm going to get order to churn rap before y'all would do something. Just the Francis Yumalin. At the police station, Francis Yumalin said he will mob Falabu. Anywhere you see Falabu. Same thing Darius DeLong did at the police headquarters. Yeah.
Mr. Gilbert, how you master the call a name? Not from Lofa. How you master that name?
We don't need all of that. Eh?
Because you call it a name from Lofa.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, Sarah Dopo. When President Weah decided to take or attempted to take action, they told the international community it was free speech. And that free speech is guaranteed with reinforcement under the president. We are Sir Abdullah Kamara, right?
Yes.
Act, Freedom of
Yeah,
Speech
Act.
Act. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's protected.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? It's protected. And Yeke repeated himself today. He said, if, it's the same speech. Let me put my face on this one. That what her name? Tapla Z. Davis said. Zolizo. If anybody, any looter, if any looter loot my property, I will kill you. If any looter, besides that, the Constitution does not guarantee the rights of looters.
Exactly.
The Constitution guarantees the rights of protesters, not looters. Looters are scavengers. They destroy. They steal from you, not protesters. Protesters are guaranteed. Demonstrators are guaranteed under the law to freely assemble, to petition their representatives. Yeah. Come from Mamita, bring your mouth to my ear. Let me tell you something. Okay? If what I said is a threat, according to Yeke Koluba, not me, it's a threat, then I stand by it. And today, the NSA wants a conference with Yeke Koluba. Okay? The people that dance with Yeke Koluba, that dance with him when he won the election are the people who are saying today,
no stop.
yeah, they don't want to hear him today. Oh, he cussing the old man. Yeah.
I like the way you said. Fucking the old man.
The old man. You can't do that. You can't cuss the old man. You cussing the old man. This is Yeke Koluba.
Yeah.
Dancing.
Mm-hmm.
And you have everybody behind him. Nobody.
Crocro.
Yeah. Singing Crocro Bot. Who do I call him Crocro Bot?
Not just a thing.
Okay?
Poor girl.
Singing. It was okay. It was okay. Singing, dancing, insulting his opponent. It was okay. Why is it wrong now? Wasn't that free speech? Eh?
Yes. Nobody came after him.
Wasn't that free speech?
Very free.
Look at what they did to tell you that this government is proceeding very wrongly and vindictively. Serodopo, vindictively. Yeah.
That good English.
That good English. Tony Wilson. Absolute double standard by this current government. That's okay yesterday, but wrong today. Yeah.
Hell to the no.
Yeah. Princess Bay Taylor. Look at his shirt. So wet with sweat.
You sweat.
He's sweating profusely. Just coffee from the water.
Coffee sweat.
I disagree.
Yeah, Mas SP Pelu, the former VP, Joel Howard Taylor was insulted by Yeke Koluba, saying a whole lot of things.
Oh, craziness.
Crazy stuff he said about her. No, and that was the vice president of the republic.
Yep.
Nobody said anything.
Nothing.
Nobody said anything. It was okay then. Okay? It was
so
okay.
Humiliating though. It was so
very humiliating, very disgracing. And then we were talking for a representative. We were calling on the central government to even go after Yeke Koluba.
Yeah.
And they said no.
It was free speech.
That free speech.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? They said no. That free speech. Where is that free speech today? Look at what the government did to a camera boy, a cameraman, trying to showcase the trash in Monrovia. Look at what they did to this man. Attack him.
Channel Liberia First On TV. And we're coming to you live from Central Street in Monrovia.
Hello, excuse me.
And
excuse me.
hello. And we bring you this large stock part of here on Central Street. Here.
Call it up. No, call it up. Don't let it call it up. Call it up now.
So I'm being attacked. I'm doing my job. I am doing my job. You can't stop me.
I can stop you.
No.
I will stop you. You're not recording me. I will stop you.
So I'm being attacked by two officers here.
I'm not going to do it, my man.
I'm being attacked. You see it? They're fighting me.
Call it off.
They're fighting me and they want to spoil my phone. They want to spoil my phone. He wants to spoil my phone. There's a Shine Liberia. There's a Shine Liberia. There's a Bridge TV online. And they are fighting me. They are fighting me. They are fighting me. I said that's you. Stop it. They are fighting me. They want to spoil my phone. So Shine Liberia, they're fighting me on Central Street. Two officers, I don't know what I know. Did he attack himself? And he attacked me. Two of them. Alessandro, you. He attacked me. I'm here on Central Street. I couldn't do my work. This is Shine Liberia. This is what is happening here. This is what is happening here. They're fighting me. They are fighting me. They are fighting me. He did not ask me any question. He did not ask me any question.
All right. I wanted to pause it right there. You see the guy in the red shirt. He's one of the main instigator that were fighting the journalist or the cameraman who was only doing what they did yesterday, or Tony Wilson, she said. It was okay yesterday, but wrong today. They were showing all of the trash around Monrovia that Jeff Koji was doing nothing.
Fubi Hendricks was the king for that.
Yeah, Fubu Hendricks were going around. He said you were carrying a camera around taking pictures.
Every market comes.
Yes, very the aggressor, Tony. Thank you. I was looking for that word. The guy in the red shirt, the aggressor, attacking the journalist, not wanting him to do his job, to do the video,
to bring the news to us.
To bring the news.
Phoebe, I get some more jobs, sir.
Go get some.
Phoebe working for ANC boss.
Okay.
Okay. So, that's where we find ourselves, people.
The winner representative for ANC.
Eh? Okay.
She asking if
they don't want Yeke to talk because it's a mandate of this government to silence people.
That is an upcoming representative.
Yeah, to silence people. So you see them going after Yeke They're going after the journalists. They're going after everybody. Proceeding very wrongly. A government that does not have a budget passed, a central budget, going on how many months now?
3.
Okay, so a whole lot going on. We'll talk all of these things tomorrow. We got let's go around the table here. But first, let's take this call from Wilton Ketter, and then we'll come to each of you at least a minute each on your takeaways. Ketter,
Hi, Brother man. Thank you. Very, very. I came late and I was just here when Anthony was leaving, but it was a spirited conversation, very informative. Speaking about this part of the conversation concerning freedom of speech, you remember when President Weah wanted to dedicate the market in I think it was in the Queensway era, Dupo Road.
Yeah.
And he made an expression that anybody insult him, I think the law would take his court. Those Unity Party people went on spoon, especially Mo Ali, and called the president a dictator.
Yeah.
The president, yes. Secondly, the people of Grenjida, they were talked down upon when they rejected Yeke Koluba and Alexander Kumi.
Yeah.
Because according to them, Yeke Koluba did not respect a sitting president, and the Grenjida people didn't want to have anything to do with somebody who does not respect authority.
Authority, right.
Alexander Kumi, by then in the opposition, came out and said that's how Yeke Koluba can express himself.
Yeah.
They had nothing, it was not. They had no problem with it, and even the Unity Party at the time defended Yeke Koluba and frowned at the people of Grenjida.
Yeah.
Today, you have the same Yeke Koluba doing the exact thing to Mr. Bwaka. And the Unity Party people coming. You know the reason they're doing this because they feel they're entitled. They own Liberia. They can get away with murder in the opposition and with impunity. And they can do that while they're in administration. They got away with murder. And when CDC were opposition, they were in authority. They became opposition. They got away with murder. Now they are in the ruling establishment now, and they want to still get away with murder. But I think we should stand firm because this thing is going to get uglier than we really imagine. It's going to get uglier. What I'm saying here, Mr. Gilman, these people will do whatever to silence Yeke Koluba and the voices, the critical voices.
Yeah.
Because this is the reason why they have started putting surveillance on Abraham Gosson Weah and some people at Freedom. They even talk about closing Freedom FM down and the other stuff. Yeah, they're trying to censor a lot of critical voices. And this is sad. This is very sad. This girl, the former deputy minister, Mamasi Kaba, she posted something. Yeah. She posted a video today of I think he's the advisor to the president, legal advisor to the president. She posted a video. He was justifying why he called the prosecutor to drop the case of the culture ambassador.
Yeah, Julie Andy.
Uh-huh. And in that statement, he said there is no criminal charges or even lawsuit against any citizen that will make utterances against any public official, whatever way possible. It's not a criminal charge, and it's freedom of speech, the Abdullah Kamara Act, and he called another the Donald Martin Table Declaration. And so Yeke Koluba speaking his free mind. Darrell Dillon said he was suing the president. He called the president names. They even took when the police said they had Darrell Dillon on surveillance, what the Senate did, they summoned Patrick Sulu.
Yeah.
Yes. So
and they were asking, you still got Darrell's on surveillance?
Yeah. You see that? So I think it's hypocrisy. I think we're going to continue. They're not going to silence the critical voices. They'll wait because this government is inept. Joseph Boakai is doing nothing. He's a dominant president sitting down, and people around him running the show, putting their cronies and doing dubious stuff in our society. They don't want nobody to bring it out. So they will push those government security agency against those people. So they can silence them. But I think they're not going to succeed.
No.
They're not going to succeed. But you have a very spirited conversation today. I like it. The information about the asset recovery.
Right.
I think it was a good thing. We should have more of that so we can educate our people.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. No doubt.
Thank you.
Yeah. Miss Wendy, no, Apostle CEO got to go to work and he had
Yeah.
yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Gemo. You are in the spirit. You are in the spirit. Thank you so much.
Yeah, Miss Chappie, you'll go after the both of them.
Yes. So let me just say hello to Miss Chapin there, and of course, Jerunge man, our man.
Yeah.
All right. So let me just take a few seconds. The first thing is that the question Mr. Gilmore asking was, so you think we won the case about going to court? And the answer is simple. Gracious Right won the case
because in a respondent own letter or communication, they say we agree. Impact. We youth. They use the word youth. Yeah,
they use thank you, Mr. Gilmore. Yeah, they use the word you, and you know, in the common Liberian English, Clark Martin just came back to a common sense, and you know, in other words, you not be going on the street and say, oh, that car you driving there, that government car. You tell the car from Tabasio, oh, Russia driving that telephone for government, without due process, that is without first of all going to court and, you know, find out what they you know, going through that due diligence. So Gracia Rao won the case, and it's a precedent for everybody. You see that the whole so-called asset recovery something has become cold, COLD. I mean, it's cold. It's a flat. The Liberian people, in fact, Liberian people, they ain't got no trust in the whole asset recovery something. They just found the whole asset recovery something as a joke. You understand? As a joke, bunch of politicians and vendetta individuals, you know, like Martin Collins, Gongwa, and whatever. These are now technocrats. They are not forensic investigators.
No.
They're politician. Clark Martin is a politician. He's angry with President Weah's government and, you know, coffee. I mean, that whole asset recovery something is, they don't have no legitimacy. That's why I was asking our dear lawyer that can the ombudsman, you know, dissolve the crap that is put together called asset recovery. You know, he said, yeah, he can give an advice, and, you know, and then he left with the government to do what they can do. So who won the case? Finda Gracia Rice won the case, and it's a precedent for every Liberian. My Liberian people, y'all go ahead and do your businesses, yeah. Nobody will come and be harassing you on the street. And, you know, even our police people don't do that. So the asset recovery will do that. That thing they call asset recovery is a VLA. It has no legitimacy. I don't know how we can say that in common English there. Yeah, that is there. Thank you. They ain't get no power, yeah. Now let's come to the one quickly. Mr. Gemo, Yeke Koluba will do more and more and more and more, and he will still be supported by the Liberian people. All the harassment that the UP people are doing, and the UP government said they want to do to Yeke Koluba, it will not succeed. Reasons, there are millions of reasons, but let me just give you one or two. The first thing is that when Yeke was doing that to President Weah, they were clapping their hands. Yeke insulted the president for 6 years. Everybody was clapping for him, and they were quoting the Abdullah Kamara Act, and, you know, that was signed on the 5th of March 2019.
Yeah.
All right. Besides that, the women in this country were all insulted by the likes of the guy in Morocco, the likes of Ava talked about the likes of Yeke Koluba, and everybody was clapping.
They were clapping.
Even our first lady, Her Excellency, Mama Cloud Weir was insulted.
Yeah.
Our VP, Chief Dr. Joel Hotela was insulted.
Yeah.
Nobody said a word. Everybody was clapping. So when they insult Katumu Bwaka, then your verse, for your information, Koluba will still insult Katumu every day. Period. And the Glendy Juniors and what have you, he will insult them every day. And nobody will talk. The Fallujah, when we say Fallujah, we're talking about Richardson, who on Spoon Talk. They will insult them every day and nobody will talk. Because what is good for the gander is good for the goose. This is Liberia. Everybody has the freedom of speech. I am not a supporter of Yaka Koluba, but you will not suppress Yaka Koluba. You will not harassing. He is a free human being. That today you know that Yaka Koluba that crazy man.
Yeah.
That today you know that he's not. Even the April 29, the Satan Waterspoon, every 2 weeks he will invite Koluba on a criminal empire on Spoon TV just to elevate him. The same thing he does for Darius Dillon and other people, bringing them. He even brought the man from Morocco on a TV. The man who can be insulting women. He brought him on a TV and they were clapping. So Koluba will go ahead and insult Georgia Bwaka. He will go ahead and insult Katumu Bwaka and insult everybody. He will do it today, he will do it tomorrow. And he's free to do that. And you're leaving. When that man insulted Julie in here and Julie took him to court, you people say, why is it that
Now free speech.
Bujuban Keita then were calling, making telephone calls for them to drop the case. And when they dropped the case, y'all were defending the man from Morocco. So that's the Liberia you won. I believe that in 2029, President we will come back to face the Liberia. But in the meantime, we will go through this. Katumu will be insulted every day. And Joseph Bwaka will be insulted. And the Glenny Juniors, then all of them will be insulted. Period. Your good night.
Thank you very much, Apostle Sio. Let's go to Miss Wenley. Roslyn.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Gilman. Thank you to my fellow panelists for a beautiful evening again, for this splendid deliberation.
No doubt.
So, people that Glenda G, them, she didn't know her left from right. They were all against this little young, promising future leader of our time, of our land, Miss Gay, or the young granny, the one that was told that don't put me in a situation that I can handle.
Yeah, Agostina.
Agostina. Brilliant
Agostina.
young lady.
Don't put me in a situation I can't handle.
Yeah, that saw ahead of time that this dude that impregnated her was out for chaos, to destroy her and bring her, probably take her to Digger Camp. And based on her intelligence, she was able to recall all the plot.
I can't do that thing now.
Yes. So I always think about that girl and the spoon, the teaspoon TV or JMB TV. That's why I just saw here that they call it now. It's no longer spoon, it's JMB
no longer
TV.
Spoon.
That they all condemned that young girl coming up. Mm-hmm. She had to hide herself for her life, for her safety. So what Yeke is doing today is nothing new.
No.
It's nothing new to the Liberian community all over the world. The opposition bloc, the Yasindi and them, the Glenda G calls him Honorable Yeke when he does the obvious things. She'll call him honorable. The Fallujah Lane will applaud and they'll invite him on their platform and give him all of the applause. So today, It's not a good thing. I thought it was the most beautiful thing that ever happened to the people of Liberia to have a town crier in the land called Yeke Koluba.
Yeke Koluba.
The town crier, the most sophisticated town crier in the land that can just insult leaders. They gave him to us, so we appreciate him. For me, I appreciate Yeke Koluba now than ever before. Because when you were on my president, it disturbed my soul, it disturbed my inner being. But now today, the same thing has been repeated because it's a cry. Let Yeke Koluba continue to do his dance. Let Yeke Koluba continue to do his whatever Dibida stories about leaders. If I'm a woman though,
Right.
but hey, what goes around comes around.
Comes around.
Yeah. If it
What's
was
gonna
temple
be,
for
gonna be.
gonna be, if it was
What
temple
goes up
for
must come down.
Joel Howard, Dr. Joel yesterday to be insulted by Yeke Koluba and they cheer him up only
Yeah.
because he's serving the CDC government. So Yeke Koluba can do it more and I will cheer for him. I believe in the rule of law. But if people ignore the rule of law, those that are empowered to say that it's okay because it's not in their shoes, then let's Yeke continue to do a thing. And for me, I believe in Moses' law always. You do better, do you. So since it was okay to insult President Weah and the whole government, it's also okay for Numa Bwakai to be insulted. Whichever way it comes, we clap.
Yeah.
Yeah. Congratulations, Yeke, for a job well done. Thank you, Mr. Gilman. Thank you to
Thank you
all
very
you.
much. Thank you, Miss Chapin.
Yeah, I see my sister Rachel smiling
Yeah.
there. Oh.
Yeah, Mr. Gilman. Well, thanks to the team. I didn't greet you people earlier. Pray all of you are doing fine and our followers. And thanks, Mr. Gilman, for the hard work always.
No doubt.
Everybody working hard. I didn't want to come on, but when the counselor was going so deep, I said, no, I got to be part of it. So, yeah, so I talk about the issue of freedom of speech.
Freedom of
These
speech.
people, yeah, these people are very intolerant. Though they will not permit the freedom of speech at any length. They're very intolerant. But one thing, I wanted to ask the counselor, but then I think he was tired, so he interrupted me a bit. Was that the what else people could come out to private citizen, not necessarily creation right, but private citizen could come out to file a lawsuit and say that the asset recovery team is, to challenge the legitimacy of the access and recovery team.
Right.
So, for what I've learned from this creation right and the asset recovery team case is that the population can just sit down, especially the opposition community and serious stakeholders who want peace and democracy. They can just sit down and let the government to just carry out any arbitrary action, that is not within the confines of the law. I think this has opened an opportunity for us to challenge the government in court on her decisions. Even putting down those 700 person, I think somebody should go to the court. And the 40,000 civil service, somebody should go to the court so that these processes are void of bias. Even if they have to lay people off, it should be according to the rules, the law. It shouldn't be like doing it out
Those
of
are
wish
some of the
on.
things that the CDC
Yeah,
addressed today. We're gonna discuss it tomorrow.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I think Fina, the case with Gracia Ra has really opened that opportunity for people to pursue the court in a lot of ways to stop this government from just doing anything to the population. And when it comes to the Yaka Koluba situation, you see, I said on the platform many times that the opposition at the time, they encouraged the citizen to be disobedient, to disrespect the rule of law, to disrespect people in authority, you know, in
Right.
all forms and manner. And now they're reaping what they built, you know, even the garbage issue. They're reaping what they
chicks
built. They
are
were
coming home to
encouraging people,
roost.
yeah,
Yeah.
they were encouraging people to put the garbage in the street at the time. They were
Yeah.
encouraging people to do all the wrong and disobedient thing to the government, you know. So now they're reaping what they sow, but for the sake of, because the presidency of Liberia goes beyond Joseph Boakai. It is an office of the nation, you know, for the sake of the nation, respect and dignity of that office. I think people, the civil society organization, the religious council, and all well-meaning citizens, we have come together and apologize to the previous government. And apologize to people who are impacted by the insult, be it from Prophet Key, be it from Yaka Kolba, whosoever did the kind of bad things, you know, the provocative things to people during the WIA regime, or even before the WIA regime. They come together. I think they need to open a reconciliation forum, seriously. Because you know, although we are a cost president, we are about the things he said about Joseph Boakai, it disgust me. You know, yeah, you will not believe Mr. Gilmore. I feel like vomiting. I don't know, for some reason, I felt quite frankly, I felt when I listened to it, I laugh, but later on in the evening, I started reflecting. I just started feeling the nausea. Yeah. So I think
What's
at this
gonna
point,
gonna be.
yeah, at this point,
Sister Chapman, which part of that, which part of the speech that actually got you nauseated? Just tell me which one.
That disgusts you.
Maybe because I look at the old man, you know, his age, and
No. We're not talking about old man. We're talking about president. The president. We're not talking about old man.
And I want you cannot let you old man. You know.
Yeah.
Maybe because I love my father so much, maybe I play a key phone, and therefore I started reflecting his age and being a health record, knowing that complications can happen to older people, and you know, all those things. I said, no, boy, I was laughing a lot, but they want too bad on our presidency. Which that come to, I mean, people should be fair and frank. They apologize to president. We are in government. If President Salif was equally insulted before the similar way, they apologize to these people, and they come up with something. You know, in a village, you can't just use any kind of profanity. They will fine you. They have punishment, not just fine, but you will suffer second punishment in a village.
Miss
You know,
Chapin.
when I used to go on the farm, on my power farm, all those things they were there. You can't just use any kind of war.
No, you can't.
You know?
But you got people who are in government today that hail the same Yeke Koluba
I understand.
yesterday.
I can't. I was somewhere else.
Okay. No, that your disgust me can get to me.
Yeah, but I'm looking at the presidency, and I'm looking beyond. I'm looking at the presidency.
Miss Chapin, you're still wrong.
Yeah,
because if you say
I'm right,
no,
I'm
but
not
listen,
speaking right yet.
no,
I'm just trying to find a way
Chapin,
out.
Miss Chapin, if you say, if you want to take it back to the village, right, where we all come from, the elder, okay?
That's what I was trying to say, Mr.
The elder is the peacemaker. Elder is the one that set the tone.
Exactly.
Joseph Boakai never set the tone from day one to say, Yeke, what you are doing is wrong. What you are doing, don't do it. We don't do it in our culture. Instead, he supported it. And Yeke Koluba said, he calls me every day to go and do this for other people. So this man does not deserve the elder respect. He's not an elder because he doesn't behave like one.
I'm not disputing any of these things, Mr. Gamer. You know, I'm not disputing any of these things, but what I'm saying here,
but what disgusts you that you talking?
Yeah, you know, if I mean, people ain't got shame now, or they're just supposed to kind of apologize to President. We are apologize to the CDC. And Madam Seri was in any way offended the same way They have apologized to the people. You know, all these things got implication on the nation. Seriously.
What are you supposed to know?
You know, I no, but they know, so maybe
who is the president, he's supposed to have known.
Yes, you are known. You know, look at it. That come on him there. So
yeah, but say Chaben in Basel.
I mean, the way Yeka insulted him, President, we were never insulted that.
Yeah, but Miss Chapman, Miss Chapman, you and I in the interior, they say, you know, the old people now.
Yeah.
Our old people got a parable to say all of these things.
Yeah.
So when you are an elder, you have a place. If you call yourself a race car and they park you, and the race car now, they put you on the racetrack, and you still park, the engine can't even crack, then you are not a race car. You only a race car in name only. Just like I said, Ellen parking for 12 years. Now he out of the parking lot, he got his own racetrack. He even know where the racetrack is. He don't know which way to go. The car can't start. But one thing I know for sure, if you park a car for 12 years and you start it the day you started, it will not crank.
It will not crank.
It will not crank. Just say, well, I can't crank nothing. Even
it can't crank.
It can't crank.
I beg you. They play rich air now. Yeah, they play rich air now.
Yeah,
they have enough for their doors. Let's call it off now. Yeah, that the Interreligious Council, Chijaza Kawane, come up to something. You know, this is not typical Liberian community. You know, even when we're coming out as child, the 4-letter word, you couldn't tell you say that your mom will grab your mouth like that and squeeze it.
But do you have any religious council?
Do
you have any religious council in Liberia?
That's what I'm saying. They all sat down and let it thing out of hand.
Miss Chapin.
Yeah.
Tomorrow.
Let's cut it thing off so that it can be repeated again.
Tomorrow I will play you a video.
No, Mr. Kima,
all right. I will play you a video tomorrow, and we'll go.
Oh, why mute?
No, it's not mute.
Okay.
We'll play you a video tomorrow, and then we'll continue.
No, my people, they run us. They run us. We sat on the same platform. We talk. We talk. They all left from all over Monrovia. They went to go vote for Yeke be our Josephine. We know all of that. We know all of that, but for the sake of Liberia, the presidency of Liberia has spent what in Samuel Jackson said, Bwaka put him on Liberia and dragging it to hell. I said they won't buy. I don't know where they drag Bwaka himself and his whole family. I mean, that was ballistic. Yeah. That was ballistic. I mean, Yeke went for the jugular vein and that's why he bites. So the presidency, I'm looking beyond Bwaka. I'm looking at the presidency. We have to cut this off, you know. And you know something,
but you know what? You know what? Miss Chapin.
Let me say this before I forget. Please, let me say this. Please let me say this before I forget, Mr. Gamer. Then you will talk. You know the Costa, the Yeke, the Duchi Fakon, they will never get my support. Even the comments, they will never get my support. These people brought president, we are government, and they are the key player that made the government to lose popularity. They will never get my support in any way. I can't be putting will protect Yeke. No, that Yeke go let cut the thing off. It will be we won't get back. No. I said no. Let's cut it off. Cut it off. Let's set the precedent so that when we come back to power, Yeke will not turn on again. You will have no power. You'll be disabled to turn on.
No, but let's cut it off.
Okay, I said my own. Few months from now, or 1-2 years from now, we'll come back to the.
We'll come back to it. But the thing about it is,
show the people that betrayer.
Yeah.
A traitor shouldn't have space in our political space.
Okay.
That was not freedom of speech, and they were doing the president. We were nice to Costa from the beginning. The own Palestinian that voted for him all through opposition to the presidency. He never gave someone their father. Look at Costa, he gave you 5,000. You say the 5,000 small. He sit down there, insult that president. We are for 6 years. We need to cut it off for the sake of decency.
Time fast spent.
Yeah,
But
okay. Mm.
Mr. Gamer, just before you come in, I hear everything you say, Miss Chappie, and everybody else. I'm reading the comments and everything. But you know what? The fish do not rot in from the tail; it rots from the head.
Rotting from the hair.
Okay, so
Oh, that's fisting now.
Boyka is it should behoove Boyka to now
Yeah.
start preaching reconciliation.
I tell you, he
That's who.
accepted. He ain't happy himself.
That's who you need to
Man.
talk to. All right, and now
No,
you get
he
Koluba,
ain't
and not
happy
us.
himself.
And now you get Koluba, and not us. Now
He ain't
Boyka,
his supporter, not
the
happy
whole
himself.
United Party, the whole opposition at the
He's
time,
so vindictive.
they up to inauguration day, these people supported Yeke Koluba. All right. So they are only being fed with their own medicine. An eye for an eye. Mostly
That's
law.
the point right there.
Yeah.
I mean,
Mr. Gayman, Jerome.
Yes.
Oliver can't say Popo, I look at you, I started laughing. I laugh. You know, I just told my incident when they used to get fed. There's someone salt to call the lapa. So when Oliver can't use that Popo, but I just reflected, I listening to the thing, I laugh. But later on in the evening, I said, yeah, I guess, blow you for blow sweat. I beg you. Enough now. They get enough tools now. Yeah, come together and put stop.
No. Don't talk like that, Rachel. Stop.
Lead out to Miss
It's
Wendy.
a disaster.
Jerome Gayman.
Yeah, thank you very much,
Stop.
panelists. Thank you, Mr. Gilmer. Thank you to the lawyer. Thank you to the pastor. You see, our society in civic, every society have the moral compasses, which is the religious community, our elders. But everybody in Liberia have taken a side here. All politicians. You saw who Joseph Walker appointed. Dr. Reeves from the President Baptist Church that was running for president. They appointed him. Mr. Tappet, you name it. Everybody that's supposed to be the neutral, compass, spiritual, and moral force in the country.
Yeah.
They all took side. Now, I keep saying this. If I'm a bitter boss seller or Tomo Fala, who are selling nail and lock, making maybe $100 a month, and you give me a job in the house and I'm making $20,000 a month, those of you who are mathematicians, just tell me if that is not a quantum leap. This man is selling you lock, and he built a decent home from making $100, maybe less than a month, and he making $20,000. And you're going to tell me he shouldn't build mansions?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Are you going to tell me? Everybody said Fina Bono was selling her kobo. She was doing well as a person. From selling kobo to being in the executive mansion for 6 years. And you're telling me that even if she was making $6,000-$7,000 a month over 6 years, she can't buy what she's buying? But this is what we are talking about. You cannot cry or say reconciliation. Like today, I saw Joseph Walker in the paper somewhere appealing to people for us to reconcile. Then he turns around and seek the dog on the other people.
Yes.
You say let's reconcile, but then you put a group together called an Asset Recovery and come up with names of people they need to go after. Babies. Look at that little girl.
Without due process.
Without due process. And the baby girl, I got 3 girls. I got 4 girls. Baby, can you imagine somebody taking a picture of a baby and insinuating in the public that a little girl has something to do with Yeke Koluba, or in public?
Yeah.
Somebody's baby, a child. And these are the folks you say we should reconcile with. Why we have to be the only one? They got the power. They have the right to reconcile. But instead, they be vindictive. Thank God for the court. So, Mr. Gilbert, thank you very much for the opportunity to be here. Tomorrow, yes, we'll talk about the Yeke Koluba thing.
Yeah.
We talk about this thing they call free speech.
Free speech.
And the president decriminalized. So, thank you very much.
Thank you. Let me say thanks to you for reaching out to Wonder Freeman. Yeah. Thanks for reaching out to Wonder Freeman and having him on the show at the last minute. That was very great on your part, Mr. Gayman.
Anything for GHT?
Vice Chair Delano Tamasa.
Yeah, Honorable Chairman, I think we'll keep everything for tomorrow.
Yeah.
But I think the opinion from the Supreme Court today was good. And when the Antonio of Law said it's a victory for the rule of law, it is true. But I think, according to GR, which is gracious right, I think they have won in this initial stage. Because for the Supreme Court to tell the Asset Recovery Team to go back to status quo and follow the due process of law based on the still order that will fight, I think that was great. It shows that, the court is following. The court is in the middle as of now.
The court is quoting.
Yeah, so, but the Yeka issue will wait. But the only thing I just want to say, it is true, either they, say, either have two clause of things that constitute an error. And he will reach one. Either will always come with age and come with vast experiences. But the current president, meet the first category by age, about 80 years old. But the experiences acquired within the 80 years does not constitute to be an error. I think that's why things are happening this way. It is good to sow seed, but when you sow seed that is not good, the harvest of that seed, it always germinates to be more than the seed that you sowed.
Right.
So that's why you see things are piling up on him. It is, look, I must say, I know it's terrible. I listened to Yeke, I didn't go to the end, but nothing we can do. That the seed that is so, especially the man that we call elder today, the president himself. He pampers this particular man. He guarded him, he protected him, putting on his campaign team. When this guy was insulting another president, an elder.
Yeah.
And it is difficult when those are called the neutral forces in a society. I'm talking about the councils of churches in this area. Look, in every grieving society, these are people that mitigate things and bring harmony in the nation. And when they are conflicted, it is difficult for that nation to heal. And that's the position we find ourselves in. But God will come in.
Yeah.
God will rescue us.
God will come.
But thank you so much, Mr. Kimball. Thank you, Rachel, and thank you, Rosalind. Big brother gay man. Don't try it.
Don't try it. Oh my goodness.
Mr. Gilman, we're going to make sure that the counselor is stable on the show.
Come on, come on, come on. I know you're sleeping now. You gotta wake up some more, yeah? Okay, let's go.
They lie. The people fool us. The people lie to us.
The government betray us. They betray us so much. They lie. The people fool us so.
The people lie to us. The government betray us.
They can lie, they can steal, they can I said we tired with their lies. We tired with their promises that led us to all our damages. We tired with that speech they preach. Indeed, and now unique they deceive us.
The thing we saw, it frustrates us.
So why does you lie?
Why does you steal? Why does you allow the citizens to agree? You see, we just tell you. That's why we vote tell you.
But you fool us, you screw us, you use us and little abuse us. So why? The government should lie. Why? But that's the question that we ask.
The people fool us. The people lie to us.
The government betray us. They betray us so much.
I said they lie. The people fool us. The people lie to us. The government betray us. They can lie, they can steal, they kidnap, they corrupt.
No one to trust. My people
no want to hope on. My hope that I have been broken.
Telling you, brother. So
why are the schools? Why are the roads? Why are the
God that they say they go have fun, but they too selfish.
The people tired with their message.
People tired, they tired. You see the reason why we ask why the government betray. They have enough of time, but yeah, then instead they delay.
People suffer.
No work,
but people crying for hunger.
Look at. Your vision and your mission, your intention to the nation
is poor. You get nothing to show.
Nothing. So
why? The government should lie. Why? But that's the question that we ask. That's the question we ask. They got nothing to show. Their vindictiveness is all over the place. Well, thank you very much for being there. Thanks to our guests, our impromptu guests on here tonight. Atty. Freeman. Our team of panelists and analysts. Thank you very much, our followers, distributors of the show, those of you that train with us as well. We'll be back early tomorrow with another edition. Until then, I'll be your host and announcer, Michael Gilman.
We tired with the promises that left us to all our damages. We tired with that speech they preach indeed, and now unique they deceive us.
The thing we saw, it frustrates us.
So why does you lie? Why does you steal? Why does you allow the citizens to grieve? You see,
we just tell you. That's why we vote tell you. But you fool us, you screw us, you use us a little, abuse us. So
why? The government should lie. Why? But that's the question that we ask.
The people fool us.
The people lie to us. The government betray us. They betray us so much.